case. Fox Business's Lydia Hu has been in the courtroom.
I think it was a moment I'll never forget. You could probably hear a pin drop as everyone kind of craned their head around, wanting to see Stormy Daniels enter the courtroom and walk just behind our former president as she proceeded up to the witness stand.
The former president calls it a false, ancient story, also posting on Truth Social it was fully adjudicated by the voters in 2016. The judge is dismissing the mistrial motion, but said he agrees with the defense that some things would have been better left unsaid and that the witness was a little difficult to control. The judge, however, insisting the court's done everything to protect both sides. Renewed optimism in Washington about a possible ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza.
A day after Hamas laid out a counter-proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza, White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby says Israel and Hamas should be able to close remaining gaps.
That's not insignificant. Everybody is coming to the table.
CIA Director Bill Burns is representing a U.S. delegation negotiating a potential deal to free hostages and pause fighting.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. This as Israeli forces attack Hamas targets in Rafah, described as a limited operation in the southern city, where President Biden's warned against a major offensive, putting civilians at risk. Of the 132 hostages still held in Gaza, at least 38 now declared dead. Israeli officials say a 61-year-old man was murdered in October, his body taken by Hamas. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why you should be prepared. Mostly cloudy and 76 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Radar clear for now. Rain likely later. Low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Moss Roofing, here's what's trending at 3:02. There are chances for severe weather across the entire state today.
The greatest risk across Indiana is in that I-69 corridor in east and south of there. So that includes Indianapolis, Muncie, Seymour, Shelbyville, Columbus, Bloomington, all of that area in east.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service expects that most of the severe weather will happen after 6 this evening. A tornado watch for 33 different Indiana counties, including Marion, is in effect until 9 tonight. Early voting turnout for the May primary was low across most of the state. This morning also gone off to a similar start, but these voters didn't mind.
Well, no lines, very organized, in 5 minutes and out in 5 minutes.
Okay, similar experience for you?
Yes, perfect.
The polls are open until 6 tonight. If you're still in line when those polls close, you'll still be able to vote, so don't go anywhere. You've probably heard this one before. The Delphi murders trial has been moved. Donnie Burgess reports.
October 14th is the new trial start date for the case against Richard Allen, who's charged with killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German 7 years ago. His defense team argued the May trial schedule was too short, and Special Judge Fran Gall refused to extend it. But the defense didn't stop there. They filed a motion to remove Judge Gall yet again. At one point during Tuesday's hearing, the defense team told the judge she didn't know anything about the case. A few more hearings have been set for the end of this month. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
There's another motion to get rid of the Speaker of the House. Congresswoman Victoria Spartz says she's less inclined to support the efforts to remove Speaker Mike Johnson.
I would probably not vacate the Speaker. I would think what to do. I could but let actually the motion go to the floor, but very likely it will not.
But on Fox Business, she said she understands Republicans' frustrations given recent bills like the foreign aid bill that was recently passed without border security, which is something Republicans have been asking for. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. Your time is 3:04.
Get ready for storm season because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 3:05. Good afternoon, Matt Bear.
Harrison Silcox. Good afternoon, Harrison. Looking at eastbound 70 here. It is a crash coming out of the north split before rural. We have 2 right lanes blocked and 2 left lanes currently blocked. Traffic is stopped back into the north split. This is also stopping traffic back to 21st Street on southbound 65. Eastbound 70 drags into the south split because of that crash from Harding Street, and the delay continues all the way up to the north split. That is stopped traffic, and delay times are kind of a mess all the way through. I would avoid any of those. Looking at westbound 70 shy of State Road 9, right around the Greenfield Rest area. This is a crash in Hancock County involving a semi. Left lane is blocked. Traffic stop for several miles. Use US 40 instead. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. It's primary election day in Indiana. Yay! Hammer, did Jefferson Sharif come down your chimney and try to take your guns? It's a legitimate question.
Not at our house. I think he knows better. I think he knows better than to contact the Hammer family. But
lots of races, though. Lots of big time. I got the governor's race, House seats, Senate, key local races. Did you get out and do your part?
I did. And I don't know if this is good or bad. I mean, I think I kind of know the answer, but there was no line. I got in, I got out. My wife was with me. My oldest son was with me. And, you know, when you put your ballot into the machine that scans it and counts your vote,
yes,
it kind of gives you a tally of how many people have done that on that machine. Now, granted, I voted early. It was around 8:45 a.m. this morning. But I was only voter number 20 at my district.
Oh.
So I'm telling you, voter turnout is going to be bad.
Yeah, the news has been saying that. I've been hearing at the top of the hour, the news is saying, low turnout for a primary. But it's been a nasty one in terms of the governor's race, hasn't it?
A lot of money being spent for sure. And has that money been flushed right down the toilet? We're going to find out tonight, because one of two things are going to happen. The big spenders, the Jefferson Shreves and the Brauns, they're going to see the fruits of their labor and they're going to move on. Or voter turnout's going to be so low, so bad, and right now we think it's going to be that way, that it's anybody's ball game. Like, you could see some major upsets here because voter turnout is going to be in the toilet.
Well, it was probably about 5 minutes for me, 5 or 10 minutes, the entire process. It took me longer to get through, because I had my little highlighted PDF sheet that I told you about yesterday with all the candidates and all the, that somebody had given me that we were kind of like-minded in on our politics.
You were like Kayleigh McEnany going up to the podium when she was the House Speaker. That big binder of facts.
I had my readers on, and I've got my PDF with all the highlighted candidates and the delegates and the House districts and the precinct committeemen. I had it all there, and I was like, yeah, it took me probably longer to vote than it did for me to get through the line. So I'm such a dork.
So throughout the afternoon and evening here at 93 WIBC, we're going to give you all the information that we have with all the resources that we have available. We're going to have members of the WIBC news team coming in here all throughout the afternoon, giving us updates on voter turnout, things we're looking for tonight. We'll speak to Abdul. Nobody's more connected in local politics than Abdul is. We're going to find out what he's hearing in regards to some of these key local races. Like, I know on the South Side, you've got Senator Mike Young against Philip Clay. You've got other areas where the incumbent, Rod Bray, he's the Senate pro temp, legacy. He's got all the money, but he may be in trouble against the upstart Jay Hart. So we're going to speak to these guys, find out what's going on, and also keeping our eye on the weather. Supposed to have a pretty nasty line making its way through the city of Indianapolis, central Indy, a little bit later on.
Got it all covered for you.
Marcus Bailey, meteorologist for Wish TV, will be joining us. So again, all afternoon, keep it locked right here to the Hammer and Nigel show. And then at 7 o'clock, the newsroom takes over with election coverage of primary night here in Indiana. That being said, you came in my office this morning, and you didn't want to talk about the primary. You didn't want to talk about the Pacers. You wanted to talk about the bathroom situation in the Kansas City airport.
So my wife is out of town for a night for work. Flew into Kansas City this morning. Right? Should be back tomorrow. So get this text. Just landed in Kansas City, brand new, beautiful airport. However, I'm not impressed with their all-gender bathrooms.
Ooh.
I don't want to pee next to a man. WTF.
Fair enough.
And I thought, like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about like one of those private unisex family bathrooms with one single toilet and a lock on the door?
Because we've got that right across the hall here.
Yeah. She said no. Each stall has a lock, but anyone can go into it. It literally says all gender bathrooms. There are multiple stalls. It's not just one bathroom stall.
So in theory,
in this
like
Kansas City airport, yeah.
In
Go
theory,
ahead.
Allison could be in one stall, and I could be in the stall next to her, just like just doing horrific things.
Just another afternoon.
Fresh off of a Cinco de Mayo taco spread, and poor Allison's got to deal with that.
Yes, all gender bathrooms at the Kansas City airport. Now, I'm wondering, is that a woke thing, or did they figure out some way to save space to where they can save money on? She said there was no urinals. It's just toilet seats and just a row of stalls. Is this a woke thing, or is this sort of a thing where it's like, yeah, we're just gonna, save some money here and put it all in one room?
So your wife said it's a newer airport, because I went to the Kansas City airport about 7-8 years ago, and it was a dump.
Oh, really?
It was a total dump. So maybe this is a new one. I don't know. If it's new, I bet it's woke. I damn well believe that that's a woke thing if this is a new airport.
I did not ask her if there were any women's only bathrooms. So she, I did ask her that, but she did get back to me on that. So I don't know. So.
This kind of goes along with this new survey, Nige.
Mm-hmm.
A travel site called 1 Mile at a Time surveyed airline passengers the ideal time to poop on an airplane.
What is the best time to go number 2 while you're flying?
Correct.
That's the idea here?
And according to the majority that took part in the survey, once the carts are in the aisle, people can't access the lavatories. So you have to go before they start the food and the drink service. So there's that point where you just take off and seatbelts are locked and you can't get up. But once that part is done, before the drink cart comes, that's your time to take an airline deuce.
I've never had to do that before in all my time and all my years of flying. I pray that I never will.
Never went number 2 on a plane?
My buddy did, and it was about to take off. and they took off with him in the stall.
Well, they're not supposed to do that.
Well, they did it. And he said it was like riding a roller coaster.
Well, yeah.
Like he had his hands spread out and his feet spread out. And they were taking. He said, but he there was no way he could have held it, I guess is how he described it.
So he was like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy, like his tie getting stuck in there.
He said
and
one of the
flying around.
Said one of the stewardesses said, "Sir, sir, sir," and then he like shook his head and just closed the door.
Photo finish.
And they didn't stop.
Which brings us to great moments in airline bathroom history. This is the woman who pulled her pants down in the aisle of the plane.
Sorry, everybody. Are you serious?
Is she peeing?
I gotta go pee.
I love the moment that she pulls down her pants. You couldn't tell because the crowd reaction there, the passengers.
Well, there was a Delta flight to Barcelona that had to make a U-turn about halfway through because they had what the airline calls a diarrhea incident. Diarrhea incident. Here is the captain.
Negative. It's just a biohazard issue. We've had a passenger who had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want us to come back to Atlanta.
It wasn't like the toilet overflowed or anything. Somebody couldn't make it, and they left a trail.
And that person's name was Matt Bear.
Matt Bear, we got a lot of stuff going on, and I got a bad feeling about this afternoon with the storms and the traffic and all things like that.
Yeah, Hammer, we don't need storms to tear up the North Split. We have a crash eastbound 70 coming out of the split before Rural right now. And right now, get this, 2 left lanes are blocked. The right lane is blocked. Traffic is stopped into the split and on 265 back to 29th. If you're running eastbound 70, that is stopped from the North Split down to the South Split, then back to West and a little bit beyond. Delay times are out of this world right now. Just avoid the whole thing. What's worse is in Hancock County, westbound 70, semi-crash about 2 miles before State Road 9. And this is blocking the left lane, stopping traffic for almost 4 miles. Your delay time there is now hit 90 minutes. I would use US 40 instead to get around that. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
78 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, but a tornado watch is in effect until 9 o'clock tonight for the majority of the WIBC listening area. Once we start getting these watches and warnings a little bit later on, we will absolutely bring those to you. All right, if you're ticked off about that Pacers game like I am, we got to talk about it. We'll do it next.
For the biggest selection of Mother's Day gifts, shop Cynthia's Hallmark at 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
Hammer Nigel here. Hammer, this is actually pretty amazing. If you could get a 15% upfront bonus on your money and a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, what would you say?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's what Bill Demery can offer you right now. A 15% upfront bonus when you invest your money. And what I love about Bill Demery, I've met with him. He can explain this stuff in a way that I can understand. He breaks it down and it's so easy, Nige.
You know, there's a lot of advisors on this station, but we only put our name on one advisor that we trust, both of us, and that's Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Help take care of your hard-earned money and reach out to Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. Ask about the 15% upfront bonus. 317-648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here and it's only going to get hotter. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. At Universal Windows Direct, their super spacer technology makes their windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true 20-year warranty. And listen to this deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Call today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, what a deal, 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to UWD.com. UWD.com. UWD.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Guys, let's talk game. Practice just wrapped up with the annual spring game. Your team looks promising this fall, but how's your game? Testosterone therapy can help you get back to your best, and spring is the time to start. We recommend Low T Center.
They make it quick and easy. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you feel tired, if you've seen weight gain, loss of muscle mass, could be low T. And lowtcenter.com is the place where you book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. This month, Hope Plumbing is celebrating 17 years in the plumbing business, and they want to thank all of you. 17 years has been possible because of customers who are like family. Your support, your loyalty, and your trust has shaped Hope Plumbing into who they are today. As a thank you during the month of May, if you're willing to refer Hope Plumbing to a friend or a family member, they'll send you a $100 gift card to a local restaurant. Give them a call at 641-HOPE. That's 641-HOPE.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I've had a heart attack watching that Pacers-Knicks playoff game last night. Pacers lose 121-117 in Madison Square Garden. How you feeling over there, big guy?
I went to bed angry last night.
Yeah.
I tried not to go to bed angry, but I went to bed ticked off last night. Now, listen, Pacers made some mistakes. Halliburton was trash. The defense and rebounding in the second half was not ideal. But I'm somebody who believes that the players on the court should decide the outcome. Sure. And the Pacers were robbed of that opportunity with some of these bullcrap calls from the officials. Now, I know it's like the radio host job to say, listen, there were other things the Pacers could have done that could have changed that game. Yeah, fine. But those officials were dog crap in the final 2 minutes. And I understand why people who don't watch the NBA feel like the whole thing is crooked. Because last night was bull crap, it was bogus, and it's not just me as a Pacers fan.
Yeah.
National hosts are saying that. Hell, this was the broadcast last night on TNT. Stan Van Gundy is the analyst, and his brother used to be the coach of the Knicks.
Shot clock is off. Indiana down a point at Madison Square Garden. And Turner will be called for an offensive foul on the screen.
That is shocking. You never see that call at this point in the game. Wow. I mean, never.
DiVincenzo hit the deck, sold it.
That is a great acting job. A lot of great actors here in New York City. You see them on Broadway all the time. That's as good an acting job as you'll see.
And that call, that illegal screen or whatever on Miles Turner, basically ended the game.
And it wasn't just that. There was the bullcrap kicked ball call.
The phantom kick?
Right. They gave Nembhard a foul for holding someone before the ball was in bounds, which in essence is kind of like a technical. The other team gets a free throw, which made it a 2-possession game down the stretch. All of this crap happening in the final 2 minutes. This is NBA writer Bill Simmons on Twitter. Quote, "The charge call on Miles Turner was reprehensible." ESPN's Jay Williams, quote, "You don't make that call at this stage of the game. Horrible." National sports radio host Doug Gottlieb, "That is a horrific call." After the game, here was Miles Turner.
Just in my experience in this league, I think it's the best when the players decide the outcome of the game. I think it's unfortunate that, it happened. We reviewed it, they still called it a legal screen, but it's the playoffs, man. I feel like DiVincenzo did a good job of selling it, and, for the most part, you can't leave the game to be decided by the refs. So we have to take accountability as well. So, of course, it's right at the game. I'm a little fresh with my emotions about it, but we know at the end of the day that, we can't get to that position. So I think the last 2-minute report, we're all looking forward to that coming out. I think there was two controversial calls. You know, we had to use our challenge on one call, Tyrese, and then the kickball by Aaron Neesmith that was not a kickball. I mean, you clearly see it on the replay. So, like I said, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's just we can't put ourselves in that position.
More egregious, the phantom kick call or the illegal screen on Miles Turner?
Man, I would say the screen because of the situation, the closing seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Let the players decide it.
But that phantom kick was essentially a turnover.
Right, you're right.
Right? And
They're both bad.
They could have gone and scored. A lot of things. That goon at the end of halftime hit that long half-court shot.
Right. See, I'm trying to be positive here. I know in the Kendall and Casey program, they have a segment called Bleeping Rainbows.
Pooping Rainbows, yes.
Right. So if I'm trying to do that, I'm thinking to myself, all right, Tyrese Halliburton played like total crap. The officials had just repeated horrific calls against the Pacers down the stretch.
Right.
The Knicks hit a half-court shot before half.
Right.
The Knicks scored a team high of points in the second half. All of that, and you only lost by 4.
Okay. That's a good positive outlook.
Either that or the officials were drunk. And I might not be the only one that feels that way. Here with their thoughts on what happened in that Pacers game, representing Indianapolis, AI Joe Hogsett.
Were those officials drunk? Were they drinking? If there's one thing that I will not stand for, it's when someone is drunk on the job. The kind of person that lets alcohol control their decision-making and makes it so they can't do their job is not a person anyone wants to be around.
Right.
The kind of person who can't do their job because they are hammered drunk and their face is really, 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 really red is a total loser who probably couldn't get another job, so they had to go back to the one they had.
Right.
So, if you are as upset about those blown calls as I am, let's have a sing-along. Long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart. Like diamond rings and football teams have torn this boy apart.
Okay.
Like a neon dream, it just dawned on me. The bars and this guitar.
Bring it home.
And long neck, ice cold beer never broke my heart.
That's AI Joe Hogsett
That's
responding
incredible.
to the officials last night. Real quick,
yeah.
Bob Kravitz broke this story earlier today, and now multiple outlets have this. Indy Star sports writer Greg Doyle suspended for 2 weeks from the Indy Star, and he's not allowed to cover any Indiana Fever games this year.
So this goes back to that initial press conference where he was kind of creepy towards Caitlin. I don't think he had any ill intentions at all, but I don't think he'd give us the same grace.
Right.
In
If
that
Tony
situation.
Katz, if Jason Hammer, if Nigel, if any one of us told Caitlin Clark, you do that to me and we'll be just fine.
Make the heart with her hands
Right.
thing, and he did it to her. You do that to me.
He'd be the first one to rip us, and everybody knows it. So if you want to be a hot take guy, if you want to be that type of dude, that's fine, but you got to be ready for when the stuff comes back the other way. And the Fever sounded like they had enough of his crap. Caitlin Clark sounded like she's had enough of his crap.
Well, she didn't mention it. She didn't come to his defense in any way, shape, or form. Oh, he didn't mean it. They were silent.
Right. She was silent. Her parents were silent. But lucky for you, I've got the next best thing. Here to weigh in about Greg Doyle's suspension from the Indy Star, AI Caitlin Clark.
Oh no, I hate to hear that bald-headed weirdo can't be within 100 yards of me or my family. Total shocker. I'm not sure I should even play this year if Creeper McGee can't sit courtside. Maybe next time he shouldn't act like a mix of Bill Cosby and Harvey Weinstein. Have fun watching me drain threes on your TV. Maybe I should reach out to a real man like Carson Wentz and see if he wants to cover my games. How would you like that idea, Greggy Poo? Well, I've got to go to practice, and I'm sure Greg has to catch up on the latest episodes of The View while making heart-shaped hand gestures to Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Keep on creeping, dude. Go Fever. AI Caitlin out.
AI Caitlin Clark.
Bravo.
Responding to Greg Doyle and the suspension. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, if it's not an American Standard dealer, if it's not American Standard equipment, then I'm not using them. I had B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical in Speedway. They've been there forever. They installed my air conditioner not too long ago. And here is Hammer to tell you a little bit more about B&W.
Make some noise for B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical. They're doing things in Speedway, but they also help out around the surrounding areas. Spring means unpredictable weather. So, is your AC ready to beat the heat? B&W's dedicated team will ensure your cooling system is in top shape. And when those chilly nights return, your heating services will keep you cozy. Go to bplusw.com/radio to schedule your appointment today. Visit bplusw.com/radio or just call 317-243-3581. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
She isn't working for us, so who is Victoria Spartz working for in Congress? Victoria Spartz said she'd fight the radical left, but spoke in defense of the squad's Ilhan Omar and refused to officially condemn Rashida Tlaib after her hateful, anti-Semitic statements. While there's an invasion on our southern border, Spartz votes to send $40 billion of our tax dollars to Ukraine. Victoria Spartz also says she stands with President Trump. Truth is, Spartz stated it's irrelevant who the president is and helps the Biden administration pass their agenda. Chuck Goodrich is an America First conservative. Chuck built a business that hires and builds American, and Chuck voted to end sanctuary cities. Chuck puts our national defense first by banning any Chinese presence near our military and National Guard bases. Chuck Goodrich fights for our values, voting to protect female sports and keep biological males from competing against young women in Indiana. Vote Chuck Goodrich for Congress. Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
You love spring and Indy, but you hate to paint, so do what Judy did. She called Rhino Shield.
The house that Rhino Shield did for my husband and I, after having the house painted with kind of usual house paint, I was seeing cracks appearing about every 3 years and just wasn't very satisfied with that.
Rhino Shield's a ceramic coating specifically formulated for our unique climate.
I can't speak highly enough about the Rhino Shield crew. They also were great at working with me to get the exact right color because I was very particular.
Indy, you too can have the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
I would not hesitate to call Rhino Shield, and I am just thrilled to recommend Rhino Shield to my friends and neighbors and family.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal. It saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Keep an eye on the radar. No rain showing up just yet on that radar. Cloudy, 76 degrees downtown at the moment. Low temps to the 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:33. With the threat for severe weather this afternoon, you should be prepared for anything, says Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service.
As these move, they're going to strengthen, and so that 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. time frame is where we're looking at for the most significant threat of severe weather. All severe weather hazards are on the table, including a few strong tornadoes.
Areas along the I-69 corridor to the east and south are at the greatest risk for tornadoes, says Updike. Marion County is one of 33 counties in the states currently under tornado watch. That ends at 9. The Delphi defense team has filed to remove the judge again. Donnie Burgess reports the trial's also been postponed.
The attorneys for Richard Allen told Judge Fran Gall Tuesday she knew nothing about the case, and they stand by their claim that she's biased, so they want her gone. Meanwhile, the case was postponed to October as the judge refused to extend the May trial schedule. There will be a hearing at the end of this month to determine what evidence will be allowed at trial. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Anti-Semitism in America needs to stop, says the president.
We've seen a ferocious surge of anti-Semitism in America and around the world. Vicious propaganda on social media.
Biden speaking at the Days of Remembrance ceremony on Capitol Hill today, saying Jewish students are being harassed on college campuses. 4 people shot in Fort Wayne after a fight Monday.
Something during this fight led to gunshots being fired. We're not sure at this point who shot, so we're still trying to interview witnesses.
Sergeant Chris Felton with Fort Wayne PD. He says the call was around 4:30 yesterday to a home south of downtown. 2 people were found shot at the scene. Another 2 drove themselves to the hospital. No suspects reported yet. If you're voting today in the May primary, this poll worker in Johnson County says you have no need to worry about what happens with your votes.
This is a very, very secure voting process that Johnson County goes through.
Polls close at 6 tonight. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:35.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We've recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what the heck do you have to lose? We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Call Ron or Terry at 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. That's rragency.org. A health plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
The traffic at 3:36. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Oh, hell, Harry. Looks like the eastbound 70 crash did clear coming before Rural Street. We're happy about that. I have been told the north split is moving again, which is terrific. We are still stop and go right now, 29th to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 slow to downtown. From Harding Street into the south split, you peel off to Washington. That's going to take a second, a little bit of a delay there. However, Hancock County in bad shape still at westbound 70. This is going to be a crash to the east of State Road 9, about 2 miles east as you approach Greenfield on westbound 70. Involves a semi. Traffic stop for 4 miles. Stay away from that. Delay time right now is sitting on 53 minutes. Use US 40 instead. I do caution you, US 40 does bog down in Greenfield about, I would say a few blocks before Apple Street. So that's going to be a little tight as you make your reroute. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, polycast, aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in the studio, WIBC News Director and professional beer bonger, John Herrick, with nonstop Election Day coverage here on primary Election Day. What are some of the stories you're looking at, man? What's on your radar?
Voter turnout. I know you guys have hit on that already, and you're right. I went to several different precincts this morning. No lines, really, and the ones that were there, pretty short. You talk to voters, they're not really into telling you who they vote for. But they are willing to tell you that it's pretty easy. I mean, most places you're in and out in 5 minutes or so, and pretty simple process. And then as far as early voting goes, I usually vote early because I'm working Election Day. So, but early voting numbers overall, looking at all these different counties, pretty down. So, and I know that sometimes happens with the May primary, but it'll be interesting to see how the low turnout, both early voting and today, might affect things.
And we, like you said, we know that primaries draw less people than general elections in November. But even compared to previous primaries, this seems like a really low voter turnout. And What do you think the reason for that is? Is it just apathy? People don't like the candidates, or maybe they're just worn out from the political cycle because it's been so nasty?
Well, from the few people that would sort of share with me in a direction where they went to with voters, they basically said that a couple of them were like, look, I didn't really know who to vote for among these Republican candidates, especially for the governor's side. And there were some people who talked about other congressional races in the Republican primary where they were like, I don't really know who I really like out of all this. And they kind of just said, well, let's go with who we think will do the best job for Indiana. And yeah, also some people tired of the attack ads. And you're going to hear that every election, it seems.
Man, you bring up the governor's race, and you're right. There's a lot of people that feel like they didn't get a lot of information out of these candidates, but there were 3 debates.
Yeah.
Like, people have been campaigning for a long time, but there really hasn't been a lot of information. Like, we still don't know what the exact plan is for a lot of these candidates when it comes to property tax, gas tax, the things that really matter.
Yeah, I think some people seem to like Suzanne Crouch more because she does have a plan or wants to do something to eliminate the income tax. Not every candidate's on board with that, but as you guys know, that's a topic that a lot of people are interested on, especially when we've reported on the debates, is that people want their property taxes lower. And that is something that they are tired of and that they have talked about ad nauseum. And I think that's been one of the main topics that they've discussed. But the biggest complaint from listeners that I hear is, where are the plans? How are you going to administer the plans besides just attacking your opponents? And I think
Suzanne Crouch is all about getting rid of the income tax.
Yes.
I've said this on the show. I feel firm about this. There's a better chance of me becoming the #1 pick in the NBA draft than that happening, but she puts it out there at least.
Yeah, and she's trying to come up with some sort of a plan, and she has talked about the proposed Medicaid shortfall that could be a problem that, you know, in the next budget cycle that they'll talk about the legislative session, and that's got people riled up, and she's one of the few people to talk and address that. She's had press conferences about it. So, but it seems like in every poll that I've seen that Mike Braun seems to be ahead. But again, we don't know how that's going to affect things later on this evening as they go forward.
And I think people see these ballots, back to something you said, John, they don't know who some of these people are. And there's a lot to vote for. I mean, you're voting for State House District. You're voting for county commissioner, at least in Boone County, county council at-large votes. There's 6-7 names I'm looking at right here. Precinct committeemen. I'm looking at like
delegate members.
So the delegate members. There's like in my district, in my precinct, there was like, I mean, at least 20.
Yeah.
And people don't know, so they either just don't care or they leave it blank. Now I did my research.
You brought the binder in.
I got the binder. It's all highlighted.
He's showing John Herrick his binder right now. He's very proud of his binder work. It's like his summer stock work in private parts. Nigel's very, very proud of his
excellent
binder.
reference. Yeah, well, to your point, Nigel, I think that's why at a lot of these precincts there are some people running for like city council or county council in their areas, and they're trying to talk to people as they're coming up to vote. I interviewed a woman whose dad, Ron Bates, is running for Johnson County Council, and I said, what are you doing out here before everything gets started? She's like, well, I just want people to know about it. I don't know that enough people know, and not all these candidates have the money to spend on advertising in newspaper, radio, or TV. So a lot of folks are standing outside of these precincts trying to get people to vote for them.
And I get it. Sometimes in these races, your options are a douche or a turd. I totally get that. But it's also disappointing that the turnout is so low, because these local elections really matter. These are the people that will have their hands in your pockets faster than anybody at a national level.
Yeah, and that's something that we try to emphasize when we do cover these things in the news and let people know who's running for which. But also too, a lot of these races are people running unopposed. That's what I think is interesting about this whole ballot and list of candidates is some precincts or some areas you got one person running, so they're going to get the nomination. Other areas you've got 6, 8, 10 people running, and there
were 3 spots on my ballot where the Republicans didn't have a candidate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of that shakes out with how different it is in every county.
John Herrick is our guest in studio. He's the news director here at 93 WIBC. He's got team coverage tonight beginning right after our show at 7, full election coverage and results. So, John, tell me if you buy this. I was speaking with Abdul in the back. Because voter turnout is so low, that gives some of these underdogs a fighting chance tonight. They might not have the money that the other candidates have, but if voter turnout is so low and they can get their friends to come out and put their name in the ballot box, they got a puncher's chance to pull an upset tonight.
Yeah, I think to go along with that, I wonder some of these candidates are more active on social media than others. So it'll be interesting to see how the people who do turn out to vote and do go cast their ballot, how often are they on social media? Because the ones that sometimes are leading are the ones that are the most active. You see Braun on social media a lot. You see Suzanne Crouch on social media a lot. Are the people that are going to the polls the ones who actually are following them there or not? And so, because that's a huge dynamic in these elections
now. Do you guys feel like, and both of you can answer this, because I feel this way, it was kind of a nasty GOP race for the governor,
yeah,
wasn't it? It was. There was some bad feelings there between the candidates.
Well, and it's a carryover effect too from COVID, right? A lot of people aren't happy with the way Suzanne Crouch. She's seen as like this, the second in command next to Governor Holcomb, because they feel like she allowed a lot of the mask mandates and things to happen on her watch. And then I think a lot of the animosity has been directed at her and Braun. Now, Braun more so because of the gas tax and because maybe he's raised the most money and in most of the polls. He's got a target on his back and he's been leading. So I think that's part of it. And I think that everybody's also just trying to make a name for themselves too. Like if you're Jamie Rittenauer, if you're Curtis Hill, you're trying to get back in people's good graces there. A lot of different dynamics at play here.
Last thing here before we let you go. We've also got some severe weather to keep an eye on tonight, and you've got members of the news crew working on that.
Yes, it's been something we've been monitoring and keeping up with all day, as we always do with severe weather coverage. It's looking like we do have a tornado watch that was activated earlier this hour and is in effect until 9 o'clock for portions of central and northern Indiana, along with Illinois and Wisconsin and other states in the Midwest. So never know where this could go, but that is something that the National Weather Service has said is a possibility, and we'll see how it impacts things tonight. I think a lot of people that did want to vote today wanted to get out as early as possible so that they could get their vote in before incoming weather arrived. So far, nothing so bad, but we'll keep an eye on it.
So tell us about the coverage tonight. You guys take over right after we end at 7 o'clock. What are we looking for?
So everything you can find online at WIBC.com. We're going to be very active on all of our social media channels, on X at 93WIBC, on the Facebook page as well, 93.1 FM WIBC. You'll catch Facebook updates with Abdul, Jim Merritt, and I on there throughout the evening. So we'll be everywhere starting at 7 o'clock, letting you know all the latest results.
John Herrick, news director at WIBC. John, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Window Nation did a great job taking care of me and putting brand new windows in my house. My neighbors got jealous, hired Window Nation to put new windows in their house. My mom got Window Nation windows last fall. Here's what customer Robert had to say. Window Nation was fantastic. They quoted me a fair price, talked me out of things I didn't need, and made some sensible recommendations for what I actually needed.
The semi-annual sale, like Hulkamania in the mid-'80s, it is running wild. 50% off all style of windows. 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus discount if you book your appointment this week. So how do you book your appointment? All you got to do is call Window Nation, 866-90-NATION. Talk to a representative and lock the deal in and set up an appointment. It's that easy. 866-90-NATION, windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hoosiers have a choice on who they send to Washington and deserve to know the facts before voting. Jefferson Shreve caves to the radical left on our values and is a never-Trump moderate. Jamison Carrier, well, he filed for bankruptcy, owing thousands in tax liens, claims his primary residence is in Florida, voted there this last election. I'm Mike Speedy, and I approve this message. By the grace of God, I beat cancer, and with your help, we can beat these lying politicians and save America.
Mike Speedy is the only candidate who is both endorsed by Indiana Right to Life and is A+ rated by the NRA. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th. Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Hey, it's Rob from my friends at the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew, or broken tiles, you gotta call the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. What that means to you is your project will be low maintenance, resistant to mold and mildew, easy to clean, and last for decades. The Bath Authority does it all. Walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. And listen to this incredible deal going on at the Bath Authority. Call today, 317-532-5711, and get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. That's right, 317-532-5711, and you get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. TheBathAuthority.com. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone. And you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Kelly Watson, business manager of Labor's Local 1112. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
Weekend emergency? No problem. They're here for you 7 days a week at B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical. B+W.com/radio to learn more. B&W is your independent American Standard Air dealer.
Plumbing problems stink. The LD Smith Crew can handle anything. Call today for $50 off any plumbing repair, big or small.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
All right, Matt Baer, what's the latest?
Looking at westbound 70 Hancock County, it is a crash involving a set mine 2 miles before State Road 9. They hop off there to Greenfield, and traffic is stopped for about 4 miles. Left lane is blocked. East side crash clear, eastbound 70 between the split and Rural Street. Right now, stop and go still from 21st to Meridian Penn and eastbound 70, struggling to get into downtown from Harding to Meridian, Illinois. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week is Sullivan Hardware and Garden. Get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, polycast aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Tornado watch until 9. Right now it's 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Was that you telling me that Snoop Dogg is sponsoring a college bowl game this fall?
Yes, it was.
Is that you?
That is correct.
What's going on?
So the Arizona Bowl, the last couple of years, has been presented by Barstool. It was the Barstool Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
They've decided not to sponsor anymore. So Snoop Dogg and his Gin and Juice company, which Dr. Dre is a part of, have decided to sponsor this college bowl game. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop, December 28th, 2024.
I'm ready to bring the juice back to college football. And I'm taking my talents to Arizona. Believe me, Arizona, baby. I'm here to announce the new collaboration, the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. Presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. The game will be played on December 28th at the University of Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. I'll be there. Will you be there? Well, guess what? We'll see you there.
Is anybody watching this now that Snoop Dogg is sponsoring it? Like, that didn't watch it before. I really don't care that Barstool sponsored this. I'm not going to watch it. But hell, now that Snoop Dogg's sponsoring this bowl game, sign me up.
Do any of these college kids know any songs by Snoop anymore?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because Snoop was like popular when I was in high school, like 1994, 95, 96. Do any of these college kids know the words to, Gin and Juice, What's My Name, Murder Was the Case, any of that kind of stuff?
No.
No way. Not at all. But I might gamble on the game.
Sure.
That's what's great about college bowl games. It gives you something to put a little action on throughout the wintertime.
You're a degenerate gambler.
Correct.
It's coming out in you.
100%. All right, coming up next, we've got updates in the Delphi case, the trial. Donnie Burgess, Delphi Donnie, will join us in studio with the latest.
You got to see the before and after photos of my Galaxy Concrete Coatings garage floor. The old garage floor was just awful. If you go to Galaxy Concrete Coatings Indianapolis Facebook page, you'll have to scroll down to last March when they redid my floor. There's before and after photos. They're incredible. It's night and day. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is out of this world. And no, they did not use epoxy. That is the old standard. This is better. They use polyurea. It's the new premium standard for coatings. And don't forget, the manufacturer just upgraded the warranty from 15 years to life. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or give them a call, 751-9070. Guys, let's talk game. Practice just wrapped up with the annual spring game. Your team looks promising this fall, but how's your game? Testosterone therapy can help you get back to your best, and spring is the time to start. We recommend Low T Center.
They make it quick and easy. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you feel tired, if you've seen weight gain, loss of muscle mass, could be low T. And lowtcenter.com is the place where you book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Did you know if you have water, storm, or fire damage, the first step is on you? Yikes. It's your responsibility to mitigate damages. Mitigate? Yeah, that's a fancy word for call Michaelis. They'll take it from there, from boarding up, cleaning up, and fixing up, to getting you squared up with your insurance company, which is a whole other mess you can avoid. Make it Michaelis. Call 844-FIX-INDY.
Hey, we all know about Jay's Lobster and Fish Market in the Garage Food Hall, Bottleworks District, downtown Indy. It's got the highly addictive lobster mac and cheese, but you also have to try their brand new hot honey fried lobster roll. It's delicious.
And how about Palavana Cubano, Indy's newest and best Cuban restaurant in Indy? It's also in the Garage Food Hall in the Bottleworks District, the best Cuban Reuben sandwich. It might be the best sandwich in Indy. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
C&J's Water Softener promotion gets your entire system ready for summer. Trade in that old water softener now and get up to $500 towards a new one. Hard water causes all sorts of problems, dry skin and hair to clogged pipes and water stains. C&J's water softeners help prevent issues and keep your water running all summer long. Take advantage of C&J's trade-in promotion and upgrade your water system today. C&J Water, great systems and great people too. Call C&J Water at 317-733-SOFT. That's 733-SOFT.
People everywhere are binge watching their money. Now streaming on Lake City Bank Digital. When checking Met Savings.
Together we make so much sense.
Also featuring Adventures of the Penny Pincher.
My journey has not been an easy one, but my budget is going to survive.
Watch new episodes of Your Money unfold every day on Lake City Bank Digital. Learn more at lakecitybank.com/digital. Member FDIC.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
My husband Bob has Parkinson's and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. Eligible members can select a plan now. Call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Coming up in 2 minutes, when you can expect severe storms to show up this evening. That and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
Mistrial denied. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Defense attorneys for former President Trump moving to stop his criminal trial in New York with a key prosecution witness still on the stand. The judge refusing.
Based on testimony of adult film actress Stormy Daniels, the former president's defense attorney Todd Blanche called for a mistrial, saying Daniels' testimony was more about a consensual relationship than the crime his client is accused of committing. Blanche called the narrative prejudicial. Prosecutor Susan Hoffinger said the defense was briefed on what Daniels would say, and it was meant to show the defendant's intent with this witness. Judge Juan Merchan said while some details were not necessary, it was hard to control the testimony given. He ultimately denied the motion, saying it's not warranted right now.
Fox's Gernal Scott, the former president's charged with falsifying business records to hide hush money payments, a case he calls a witch hunt and election interference. The White House not commenting directly on reports there's a hold on weapons shipments to Israel as Israeli forces go after Hamas targets in Rafah.
We have been very clear from here about our concerns about a major operations. We have been very clear from here about protecting civilians.
But spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre also says the U.S. commitment to Israel's security is ironclad. Israeli officials have described the current operation in Rafah as limited. President Biden urging unity against anti-Semitism and all forms of hate as protests continue on college campuses.
Violent attacks, destroying property is not peaceful protest. It's against the law. And we are not a lawless country.
At a Holocaust remembrance event, the president saying no one should have to hide or be brave just to be themselves. He just had a White House meeting with Romania's president, who says he's willing to discuss sending a Patriot missile defense system to Ukraine. The Dow up 31 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The rain isn't here yet, but it will be. Cloudy with temperatures in the lower 70s on the circle. Lows tonight drop into the 60s. I'm Harrison Silcox. For Lake City Bank, here's what's trending at 4:02. You're likely going to be dealing with severe storms this evening.
We're looking at the potential for strong tornadoes today, so this is not a day to take lightly. We definitely want to make sure you are weather aware, following all watches and warnings that are potentially issued today.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says expect strong winds, hail, possibly a tornado. Radar shows rain currently west of Terre Haute. 33 Indiana counties currently under a tornado watch until 9 tonight. That includes Marion and its surrounding counties. You've probably heard this one before. The Delphi murders trial has been moved. Donnie Burgess reports.
October 14th is the new trial start date for the case against Richard Allen, who's charged with killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German 7 years ago. His defense team argued the May trial schedule was too short, and Special Judge Fran Gall refused to extend it. But the defense didn't stop there. They filed a motion to remove Judge Gall yet again. At one point during Tuesday's hearing, the defense team told the judge she didn't know anything about the case. A few more hearings have been set for the end of this month. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Donnie Burgess joining WIBC's Hammer and Nigel in just a few minutes to talk more about the case. 15 people are without a place to stay after a possible arson on the northeast side this morning. Indianapolis and Lawrence firefighters were called to a car fire that had spread to an apartment on Cedarstone Court just before 3 in the morning. That's north of East 56th Street near 465. One firefighter was hurt, no one else injured. The fire still being investigated. And one of the voting precincts for today's May primaries, the Benjamin Harrison presidential site in Marion County. That's where Charles Hyde is the CEO.
Well, Benjamin Harrison said an American citizen could not be a good citizen who did not have a hope in his heart.
Polls remain open until 6 today. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Hammer and Nigel here. Hammer, this is actually pretty amazing. if you could get a 15% upfront bonus on your money and a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, what would you say?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's what Bill Demery can offer you right now. A 15% upfront bonus when you invest your money. And what I love about Bill Demery, I've met with him. He can explain this stuff in a way that I can understand. He breaks it down, and it's so easy, Nige.
You know, there's a lot of advisors on this station, but we only put our name on one advisor that we trust, both of us, and that's Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Help take care of your hard-earned money and reach out to Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. Ask about the 15% upfront bonus. 317-648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
And with traffic on the 5s at 4:05, here's Matt Bear.
Here it is, Hancock County. Crash clear westbound 72 miles before State Road 9. Still backed up for several miles, but the front of the line is starting to clear out. Downtown coming in to southbound 65. Stop and go MLK to Meridian Ped. Eastbound 70 drags from Tibbs Avenue to Meridian, Illinois. On the northeast side, southbound 69, a bit of a drag after 96 down to 465. And on the south side, eastbound 465 slows from Man Road over to US 31. This is a crash on the south side, Southport Road east of Bluff, and a crash 34th at Emerson Avenue. Traffic sponsored by Train Heating and Cooling Systems. Get a great deal this spring on a new Train Heating and Cooling System. Train systems are engineered to keep up with you. Visit TrainInfo.com to find your local independent Train dealer and to learn more. It's hard to stop a train. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates and WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. Special in-studio guests.
Donnie Burgess is from the WIBC newsroom, and he's the dedicated reporter for all things Delphi. The murder, the trial, all of the storylines. We've dubbed him Delphi Donnie. He joins us in studio. Actually, hat tip to Ethan Hatcher, one of our weekend hosts. He was the one that said, you're so good at these stories, we're dubbing you Delphi Donnie.
Yeah, I've got to trademark this, get some royalties at this point.
And first of all, I'm not just saying this to blow smoke up your backside here because you're here. When you're on to talk about this kind of stuff, the information you bring, our Twitter lights up, YouTube lights up. People are still fascinated with every aspect of this trial. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Were you okay? So what's the new developments? First of all, let's get that out of the way.
Oh God, where to start? Probably with the biggest one. The trial has been postponed. It has been moved from May. It was going to start here in less than 2 weeks. It's been moved to October. October 14th is the new start date.
I can't say I'm shocked. We've talked about it every time.
Right. Yeah. So many moving parts here. There were no way they were going to get everything figured out and finalized to start that in time.
Yeah, it's been moved so many times, and the defense wanted a longer trial, and the judge was not willing to budge and give them more time in May. So they went ahead and waived the right to a speedy trial, which got them this whole thing in May in the first place. They went ahead and, all right, we will give that up in favor of getting the October trial schedule, which does have a little bit more time attached to it. This one has been expanded. It's October 14th to November 15th is how long this one is.
So now that the trial has been moved back from May to October, is there any chance at all that Judge Fran Gull will reconsider the way the media has been selected to cover this?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if she will, but I would hope that a lot of big players and media might take this opportunity to start gearing up for an offensive on that. But another reason why I say I'm not sure if she will lean that way is because if the defense gets their way, she won't be around. They filed another motion to remove her from the case.
So this is
another one.
Another one.
Yeah, and
Wow.
You know, thanks to all the media that did manage to get in and were trying to get things out throughout the day, it was immediately the judge and the defense were immediately sniping at each other as soon as this hearing began today, and they had some pretty tense back and forths.
Now, hasn't the Indiana Supreme Court already made a decision that the judge stays?
Yeah, so it's some legal mumbo jumbo,
legal stuff
that I'm not smart enough to understand. But basically, it was, hey, she hasn't done anything yet to warrant that, so we are not going to grant that. That was what happened at the time.
Yet being the key word, and now the defense team is presenting new information.
Yeah, the defense, they immediately started sniping at each other. Apparently, Gall said, I don't understand, like, if you can't do this in less than a month, then something's wrong. And the defense said, well, you have no idea what this case is even about in the first place. Like, you have no idea.
This was all
what's
today.
going on.
Like, they're openly just talking trash to each other.
Yes. And they have long said that Gall is biased. She is just really heavy-handed with them. And the Supreme Court even had to kind of smack her on the hand a little bit with the way she disqualified the team in the first place. So they want her out of here.
Man, I don't know what to even think about this trial anymore, this situation, the poor girls that still haven't received justice for their murders, the status of Richard Allen. I saw the new mugshot. He looks a little more filled out than previous pictures that we've seen of him where he looked unhealthy and gaunt. I just... I'm throwing my hands up in the air at this point. I just want a fair trial and I want justice.
That's the point that everyone should always remember is the justice for the families. The older sister of Liberty German, she has been as active as she can be on social media because she's also under the gag order. But I was in Delphi this weekend. She was there as well. She's posting pictures of the courthouse, like posting pictures of the family. Finally, it's May, and now she has to wait again.
Donnie Burgess of the WIBC newsroom joining us. So who all was at this hearing today? Was Richard Allen there?
He was there. That's where the new picture came from because he was booked into the Allen County Jail. And so he was there, the defense and the judge and the prosecutor, the usual suspects were there, and whatever media managed to get inside. Apparently it wasn't too packed of a hearing, but those were the people there. The next thing coming up in the trial is that there is a hearing set for the end of this month just to decide that whole thing about what evidence can or cannot be included.
Right, including the alleged quote-unquote confession.
Confession, Odinism, alternate suspects, all that stuff will hopefully be figured out at the end of this month, but who knows?
At any of these hearings where Richard Allen has been present, have we heard from him at all?
No, we have not heard anything except for those like early days apparent confessions. He's quiet. He is keeping mouth shut and just talking to his lawyers, which is probably smart. And then the thing is, if this thing goes to trial in October, which who knows, it'll be 2 years that he's been in prison and still not brought to trial, and that's going to go right through presidential election. This is going to go through another round of crazy happenings that are happening around the case, but it'll be 2 years he's been in prison.
What's the prosecution's smoking gun here for them? Is it the unspent shell casing that was traced back to his gun?
Publicly, they have said unspent round, and he admitted that he was in the area at the time, and someone said that he kind of looked like the guy on the bridge. That's basically what they have right now.
And it's kind of telling to me, and again, I'm not a lawyer, and when we had Guy Relford in here, it was a great dialect that you guys had, that the defense team is so worried about what evidence the prosecution may have and vice versa. Like, if you are the prosecution and you feel like you've got the evidence, you're ready to go to court, you're ready to send him up the river, you shouldn't really care about what the other side has. But man, they're really concerned about some of the things the defense team wants to do, witnesses, confessions, things like that. That's kind of, I don't know if red flag is the right word, but it's interesting.
I mean, like Guy said, a lot of these motions that the state has filed, you would normally have taken care of these things earlier, or, finish these up. And they're still throwing Hail Marys and everything and trying to stop them from essentially presenting their entire defense. Little weird with this one.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just trying to figure out if I'm the prosecution, if I even want those alleged confessions out there, because he described the murders in such a way that wasn't consistent with
not only did
the coroner's report.
He admitted to shooting them, the girls, who that is not how they died.
Yeah.
And he admitted to sexually assaulting them, which the autopsy does not support that.
So if I'm the prosecutor, I don't know that I want that out there, because that tells me this guy's not mentally fit.
That's the thing I keep coming back to.
I don't know.
Like, if the state has everything, it's ready to go, they're ready to knock this case out of the park. They sure don't seem that way.
You mentioned the sister of one of the victims earlier. Have we heard anything at all from the family? Are they part of the gag order?
Yes.
Okay.
Family's part of the gag order. Police, prosecute, everybody as close as they can get to the case. They are all under the gag order. I had the chance to briefly speak with her, and she was like, "We can talk after the trial." I also had brief communication with Richard Allen's lawyers as well, and they're like, "Hey, we hear you out, but we'll talk after the trial." So everyone is at this point.
All right, so one more time, what's next in the trial? What's the timeline here?
So May 21st to the 23rd, hearings on what evidence can be presented, and then we're not sure any dates on whether they will decide if Judge Gall will be removed. We don't know about that yet. But then the big one, October 14th. I feel like I've said this a million times. The big one, trial start date October 14th through November 15th.
Donnie Burgess from the WIBC newsroom. Where can we get more coverage?
Always at WIBC.com.
Donnie, thank you.
Thank you.
Matt Baer standing by, and he's got to look at the roads.
All right, North Split stopping once again. Separate instance here. We're checking out southbound 6570 right now. It is jammed up on the main portion, the through portion to Greenwood, and this is from the North Split down to New York Street. And we're keeping an eye on it. Southbound 65 in the meantime, stop and go after MLK down to Meridian Penn. Eastbound 70 dragging into downtown from Tibbs Avenue. South side eastbound 465 slow in pockets from Kentucky Avenue over to Emerson. On the northeast side, eastbound 465 stop and go traffic. Westfield Boulevard beyond Keystone Avenue and a crash east of side 34th at Emerson. Crash south side, Southport Road east of Bluff. I'm traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Keeping our eye on the weather, expecting some severe storms a little bit later on. Hopefully nothing more severe than that, but there are some chances for some tornadoes. Right now there's a tornado watch in effect for the majority of the WIBC listening area until 9 o'clock tonight. We will keep you up to date all through the evening. Marcus Bailey, meteorologist for Wish TV, will join us a little bit after 5 o'clock. Right now, 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hey, Hammer Nigel here. Just a quick reminder, Mother's Day is coming, so please don't forget and make this a record year for the mom in your life, whether it's your wife or your mom or whatever. Give a gift from Diamonds Direct. I've been to Diamonds Direct several times with my wife. She loves it there. And when you hear Diamonds Direct, you probably think like engagement rings, but did you know they have an awesome selection of fashion jewelry, including pearls, gemstones, and diamonds starting at just $200?
That's right, $200 and up. And you know what else? $200 at Diamonds Direct literally looks like you spend way more, because the experts at Diamond Direct, they make sure you get the biggest bang for your dollar. They give you options, and they will help you pick out a gift that's personal, something that's going to mean something. Diamonds Direct, I go there, my family goes there. You should go there. Mother's Day is coming up. We've got graduations, diamondsdirect.com, or stop by Keystone at the Crossing. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Hoosiers have a choice on who they send to Washington and deserve to know the facts before voting. Jefferson Shreve caves to the radical left on our values and is a never-Trump moderate. Jamison Carrier Well, he filed for bankruptcy, owing thousands in tax liens, claims his primary residence is in Florida, voted there this last election. I'm Mike Speedy, and I approve this message. By the grace of God, I beat cancer, and with your help, we can beat these lying politicians and save America.
Mike Speedy is the only candidate who is both endorsed by Indiana Right to Life and is A+ rated by the NRA. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th. Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomeBuyer.com. No inspection, no fuss. We only need to see it once. The IndieHomeBuyer.com. Problem properties, tenants don't pay. Just hand us some keys and your problems go away. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomeBuyer.com. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomeBuyer.com.
No matter your reason for selling, the IndieHomeBuyer.com will pay cash for your house in any condition. If you're dealing with deadbeat tenants, big repairs, or inheritance, the IndieHomeBuyer.com is the solution. No hassle, no inspections. The IndieHomeBuyer.com.
Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomeBuyer.com. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomeBuyer.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
For the biggest selection of Mother's Day gifts, shop Cynthia's Hallmark at 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road in Fishers, and in Greenfield.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see our great selection of grills. We have Weber, Traeger, the Big Green Egg, and all the accessories.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
And Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
This is where I run some quirky back page type of stories by you. You break down the information and give us a verdict. Is the story really anything that we need to pay attention to, or is it a big nothing burger?
All right.
Now, for those who may be new to the Hammer and Nigel show, you have to know one thing. Nigel loves listening to women talk on TikTok. Very few things bring Nigel joy more than listening to a TikTok video where some woman's talking 100 miles an hour.
Just copy the entire job description and paste it somewhere into your resume in the tiniest font possible. Then make that font white so it's invisible and AI will still see it. That story yesterday drove me nuts on TikTok.
And that's every story.
It was like this story about a resume hack or something like that.
But that type of voice seemingly...
Every woman has it on TikTok.
Every woman on TikTok seems to have it. So, someone on TikTok asked women if they'd rather be alone in the woods with a man or alone in the woods with a bear. Now, before we move forward, Allison, would you rather be alone in the woods with a man or a bear?
It really depends on the man.
No, you just got to go with a stranger.
Bear.
Strange man. Bear? Are you serious?
Yeah.
What if it's Matt Bear? Can we bring everything together?
That's a good compromise.
So this was the question being asked to this woman on TikTok. Listen to how many people picked the bear.
Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Man is scary. With a bear. What I've heard about bears, they don't always attack you, right? So maybe a bear.
Like men do.
Depends what man, but probably a bear. Oh, 100% a bear, which is like terrifying to say, but definitely a bear. Some men are very scary out there. A bear. I would say a man.
I would say a man as well. You know my feelings about bears.
Yes.
Very well documented fear of being mauled to death by a grizzly.
I think that's ranked number 3 on your 500 list of fears.
See, it's like, I'm not afraid to die. I'm just afraid how I'm going to die.
The process of dying.
Process of dying. So, in this situation, if my choice is being alone in the woods with a man or a bear, it's the man. Because at least maybe I can outrun him if he tries to get on me or something. You know what I mean? At least I don't have a fighting chance against a bear.
Right.
Like the way I put that? I'm trying to find the right words.
The visual of a man trying to get on you in the woods.
Come here, boy. I'm going to get on you.
You sure do smell good.
Squeal like a pig. Wee, wee.
Hey, radio boy, you got a pretty mouth.
The bear! I want the bear! Give me the bear!
Too late, boy. I am the bear. All right.
Can we move on, please?
Is this anything? Richard Simmons. I haven't even said anything yet. No, he's not in the woods.
If I had a choice between being Richard Simmons in the woods and the bear, I'm choosing the bear.
Richard Simmons shared an audio message yesterday, but people are wondering if it's really Richard Simmons or is it AI? Take a listen.
Hi, everybody. It's Richard. Happy May 6th, 2024.
Yeah, that's AI, I bet.
Thank you so much for reading my messages. Roses are red, violets are blue. Do you know how much I love you? Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.
Now, you are more experienced with producing AI content than I am. That sounds like AI Richard Simmons to
yes.
me.
It sounded awkward with like where the breaths were supposed to be.
It's from his official checkmarked YouTube page, though. But they didn't have any new content on it for 10 years. We don't know where Richard Simmons is, really, do we? He's reclusive. I don't know if he has some health problems. And I know that isn't Pauly Shore making a movie about Richard Simmons?
So he made this short film, and I guess there's going to be a longer movie. And Richard Simmons is not on board with it.
He's not on board with it, and I read that like Pauly Shore is devastated.
Right. Because it was important to Pauly Shore because he did not want him to be made fun of.
Sure.
Because Pauly did some interview and said, listen, when I was real young, I didn't have a lot of friends and people picked on me, and that was the way Richard was. And I did not want to do some sort of parody movie. He wanted to do it justice, and he was heartbroken that Richard Simmons didn't want him to do the movie.
I think I'm okay without a Richard Simmons movie, to be honest. I can live without a Richard Simmons movie.
Can I hear the AI Richard Simmons one more time, please, Allison?
Hi, everybody. It's Richard. Happy May 6th, 2024. Thank you so much for reading my messages. Roses are red, violets are blue.
Nigel's in the woods, and I'm coming for you. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hey, if you think you're too busy to exercise and be healthy, think again. I felt that way when I started training at Exercise Inc. Exercise Inc. is where you show up once a week for a private 20-minute workout. That's all it takes, 20 minutes. It's helped me get stronger, build muscle, and lose a few pounds. It's a private studio. There's no mirrors, there's no music, and no spandex. I mean, I realize I look better, but I don't look good in spandex. It's just you and your coach. Again, it's once a week. You go for your private 20-minute workout. Also, your coach will help you with the 9 simple habits you need to follow to change your health and lose weight, and some of the stuff you need to do outside the gym to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Exercise Inc. is perfect for somebody that doesn't have a lot of time, somebody that doesn't feel comfortable going to those big box gyms. This is private. It's quick. It's a tough workout, but it's safe enough that anyone could do it. 5 locations, Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood. I go to the one in Zionsville, and now there's a new one in Fishers. ExerciseInc.com. Tell them Nigel sent you.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
She isn't working for us, so who is Victoria Spartz working for in Congress? Victoria Spartz said she'd fight the radical left, but spoke in defense of the squad's Ilhan Omar and refused to officially condemn Rashida Tlaib after her hateful, anti-Semitic statements. While there's an invasion on our southern border, Spartz votes to send $40 billion of our tax dollars to Ukraine. Victoria Spartz also says she stands with President Trump. Truth is, Spartz stated it's irrelevant who the president is and helps the Biden administration pass their agenda. Chuck Goodrich is an America First conservative. Chuck built a business that hires and builds American, and Chuck voted to end sanctuary cities. Chuck puts our national defense first by banning any Chinese presence near our military and National Guard bases. Chuck Goodrich fights for our values, voting to protect female sports and keep biological males from competing against young women in Indiana. Vote Chuck Goodrich for Congress. Paid for by Go with Chuck Goodrich.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. It starts with twists and turns on the IMS road course for the Sancio Grand Prix. Then PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying in the fight for the pole position. May continues with Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day. And all roads lead to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gangbridge. May is yours. May is ours. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com. 93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
Storms are on the way. Cloudy and 77 degrees downtown. Radar shows rain on the western border of Indiana. Low temps to the lower 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox from Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:32. Severe weather is possible for nearly the entire state this evening. Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service says some areas are at a greater risk than others.
Mostly along the I-69 corridor and south and east of that is the primary risk zone for that 6 to 10 p.m. time frame.
Updike says threats include plenty of rain, strong winds, hail, and possibly a tornado. 33 Indiana counties, including Marion, are under a tornado watch for another 4.5 hours. The Delphi defense team has filed to remove the judge again. Donnie Burgess reports the trial has also been postponed.
The attorneys for Richard Allen told Judge Fran Gall Tuesday she knew nothing about the case, and they stand by their claim that she's biased, so they want her gone. Meanwhile, the case was postponed to October as the judge refused to extend the May trial schedule. There will be a hearing at the end of this month to determine what evidence will be allowed at trial. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A Pendleton police officer shot at a gas station on the north side of Anderson this afternoon. Not much has been reported about what happened, but the officer is expected to recover. The injuries for the person shot are more serious, say police. The two are both in the hospital. IMPD officers are looking into a possible homicide this afternoon off Harcourt Road near West 79th on the north side. They're asking people to avoid the area while they get some work done. A man's been arrested by Bloomington police for shooting and killing someone this morning. Officers found a victim at a parking lot, believe he was shot in the chest by Scott Cooper, who had been sleeping in a van that had a bullet hole in the windshield. The Cooper faces a charge of murder, and he's behind bars in the Monroe County Jail. A suspension for an Indy Star columnist. John Herrick reports.
That columnist is Greg Doyle, and he was suspended by the newspaper for 2 weeks because of this interaction with Fever guard Caitlin Clark, where he made a heart sign with his hands, something that Clark has been known to do.
I do that at my family after every game, so
okay,
it's
well,
pretty cool.
Let's start doing it to me, and we'll be able to get along just fine.
Doyle apologized for that and called his interaction with Clark oafish. He's supposed to return to the job May 13th. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
And a mixed day on the market. The Dow was up by 31 points, finishing at 38,884. The Nasdaq down by 16 to 16,332. And the S&P 500 increasing by 6, closing the day at 5,187. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 4:34.
Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise? Is it your connection?
No, just doing a few things to the house. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What? Well, what's that noise? Is that your Wi-Fi?
Oh, that. Your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
With traffic at 4:35, what's going on, Matt Bear?
All right, Harrison, for the second time this afternoon, stopped in the north split. Now we have a crash southbound 6570 before Washington Street. One semi involved, possibly two. It is multiple vehicles, and the right lane is blocked. Traffic is stopped into the north split. This backs up 65 to MLK. Westbound 70 taking a dive. That stopped after Emerson Avenue into the north split for a delay time of 9 minutes. Then you still have to deal with the delay on southbound 6570, which is running about 7. Eastbound 70 into the south split, stop and go from Holtz Road. Also, watch out on the northwest side. It's Harcourt Road south of 79. SWAT team out. Police have an investigation going on, asking people to please stay clear. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I thought this would be the appropriate music to bring on Abdul, who, for the better portion of, a couple months now, you've been losing your mind, crunching these numbers, breaking down all things Indiana primary. How are you, my friend?
Well, let's put it this way. I think the song should be played as a low, low, low song. Because that's what turnout has been here at the Indiana primary. Not bad, huh?
Nice. I see what you did there.
Thank you.
So let's talk about voter turnout. You know, in primaries, we always see substantially lower turnout, obviously, than a general. But compared to previous Indiana primaries, how's this year looking?
This may be actually one of the lowest turnouts in recent memory.
Really?
Yes. Because
and there are big time, races on the ballot.
Yes, but what's different about this primary, as opposed to the last presidential year, where you had Joe Biden, not Joe Biden, but Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump and Joe Biden and all those guys, the numbers were a lot bigger, a lot more intense, a lot more enthusiastic. Nowadays, it's like no one cares. is really what it feels like.
The presidential races were decided a long time ago.
Yeah, and usually by the time it gets to Indiana, the presidential races are usually already sort of decided. You got your Democratic nominee and your Republican nominee, with the exception of being Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama back in 2008, and they went back and forth.
Well, in 2016, this was the big thing that put Donald Trump over the top, right? Because I still remember Ted Cruz campaigning in Indiana.
Yeah, because Ted Cruz actually was across here at the Columbia Club holding a fundraising event that I kind of crashed, and then and John Kasich was on the ballot also as well to a sort of a protest Donald Trump type vote. With that said, though, there's a lot of voter apathy out there, and people just don't care. Now, exactly why, that's going to remain to be seen. But as we have this conversation, my friend, right now, I would not be surprised this is one of the lowest voter turnouts in state history.
Okay, so try to explain this to somebody that is not a hardcore Politico, or maybe, the high school student that's 18 years old that is now able to vote. With this country so divided the way that we are, with all of these political stories being shoved down our throat, you mean to tell me that voter turnout is awful and it's because of apathy?
I would say apathy, and part of the reason for the apathy is people are just tired of the commercials, tired of I'm not saying Jason Hammer will eat your children, but can you afford to take that chance?
Right, right.
I mean, if you look at the negativity between like the 5th district, between Chuck Goodrich and Victoria Sparks, or the 6th district between Jefferson Shreve and Mike Speedy. I mean, they basically called each other everything but a child of friggin' God these days. And so that type of stuff just turns people off. Now, some people say, well, that's the whole point of negative campaigning, is to keep people is to keep the general public out. That way only your hardcore supporters come in. But I think the voter turnout has been so low, and when it's all said and done, that we could actually see possibly some surprises coming up, because it could open up a door for people like us here, Raju Chinthala, because people are so tired of the Victoria Sparks, Chuck Goodrich race.
It's the jingle. It's the Raju jingle. It's the Sandstorm dance mix. I'm telling you, Abdul.
Yeah, they're tired of that. Also, in the 6th district, you got Jameson Carrier, because people are tired of Speedy and Jefferson Shreve and back and forth.
That's who Vivek Ramaswamy was endorsing in that race.
Yeah, I'll call him the music man in a purple suit. No, people are just sort of sick and tired of politics overall, and it's coming out in this primary now.
We're chatting with Abdul Hakim Shabazz, weekend host, attorney at law, and he's going to be part of election coverage tonight. WIBC, WIBC.com. Great follow on social media. So let's talk about tonight. What are some of the races that you think could come down to the witching hour tonight?
Well, it depends on, with low voter turnout, the witching hour could be done by like 8 o'clock this evening. Well, actually, the polls closed technically at 6, but you got 2 time zones in Indiana. You got Northwest Indiana and Vandenberg County down in Evansville. So those don't close until 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock our time. It takes about an hour or so for poll results to start coming in. So with that said, I'm keep an eye obviously on the congressional races. Keep an eye on the 3rd. Keep an eye on the 4th. Keep an eye on the 5th, the 6th. And the 8th, not the 2nd and the 9th, not so much. And of course, I have a special love for the 7th congressional district. Right now,
you're throwing all these numbers out, and I don't think even the most diehard politicos understand exactly who's in which number. So break down the names here. Which names?
Jim Banks is he was the 3rd congressional district. That's Allen County, down to Huntington. He's running for the U.S. Senate, no primary opponent, so he should be fine.
Right.
The 4th is Jim Baird, Vietnam veteran. He's got some perennial some perfunctory challenges. They don't really worry about them. Victoria Sparks has Chuck Goodrich in the 5th, which is Hamilton County and a good chunk of North Central.
A lot of money being spent on that race.
A ton of money. That's it. And you got the 8th district, which is Mark Mesmer. That's a seat held by Congressman Larry Bouchon, who isn't running again. You got Mark Mesmer, John Hostetter running. Those districts, like I said, the 6th district, which is Greg Pence. Greg is running again, and so everybody and his mother. Let's put it this way. Just go get yourself a big, giant CVS pharmacy receipt, and that, my friends, is your ballot today.
What I notice, again, each district is different. I know that. But in my district, a lot of blanks on the Republican ballot. That's a big problem with the Indiana Republicans, right? Trying to find somebody to run in these races.
Well, the thing is, you don't necessarily need somebody to run those races to have a candidate, because those candidates can still be appointed after a certain period of time. These are just a straight primary. Actually, if I had my druthers, I would get rid of the primaries altogether, because what are primaries anyway? They're political parties picking their candidates So if you're not a Democrat or Republican, what's your interest in voting in a primary? I think if you go to sort of like nominating conventions like they do at the national level and pick your candidates at the nominating convention, then those parties present their candidates to the voters.
But then you run into the question of who are the people that we trust to do that, like the delegates that are there, right?
Exactly. But then again, you say you trade one smoke-filled back room for another smoke-filled back room. But at least with my smoke-filled back room, the parties are paying for it themselves. You, the taxpayer, aren't paying for the smoke-filled back room.
Chatting with Abdul here. It is Indiana primary day, and the signature race, I think, is the governor's race. It's been one where we've seen multiple debates, but very little information, right? And the front runner, which many believe, Mike Braun, wasn't able to attend the last debate. Is that going to hurt him at all?
I don't think that'll necessarily hurt him, but I think what is hurting Mike Braun is that what I've been privy to is Mike Braun is still the front runner, but his poll numbers have been dropping consistently since November. Back in November, he started about 47% with Republican primary voters. And our poll we did back in March, he was at 33%. Now I'm here, he's like in the mid-20s. And so Braun is losing steam. I think Suzanne Crouch is sort of gaining some of that momentum, and she's actually got sort of an outside puncher's chance of winning because you got Mike Braun, a millionaire, you got Brad Chambers, who's a millionaire, and you got Eric Dodd, who's a millionaire. You got all these millionaires beating the hell out of each other, saying he supports open borders and critical race theory and blah 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 blah. Whereas Suzanne Crouch has just been straightforward with her message, and that's sort of appealing to people when you have all this negative campaigning going on.
So what time do you think, for some of these local races, we should start seeing some results come in tonight?
Yeah, about 8 o'clock-ish and some change.
Okay. Even if it's for like some local races. Like I know on the southwest side for the state Senate seat, you've got a pretty interesting matchup of Senator Mike Young, who's been there for a while, against an up-and-comer in Philip Clay. It's a local deal. It's a specific side of town. You'd probably see something turn in a little bit before 8 o'clock on that, right?
Usually those up right, because also we got to remember also part of Mike Young's district is Hendricks County as well. So I would recommend by 9 o'clock most of the stuff should be closed out. The same except for the statewide stuff, which once again is the governor's primary for the most part.
So I'm going to put you in my world here, right? When March Madness, the college basketball tournament, comes out and everybody sees the bracket, all the experts say this is where an upset's going to happen. This team right here, they're going to knock off somebody that's supposed to be better than they are. They're going to shock the world. Is anything like that going to happen tonight?
With low voter turnout, my friend, anything is possible.
Really?
Here's your Final Four. It's Tallahassee JUCO versus the Maine Badgers. I mean, it's those two teams that no one gave a sucker's chance, a prayer's chance of winning, but voter turnout so low, anything can possibly happen tonight.
Hey, last thing here before we let you go, and this isn't anything to do with the Indiana primary, but I know you are so connected to politics here in Indy. What are you hearing about the city-county council? There's a big decision coming up in the next meeting about what to do with Joe Hogsett's plan to try to bring in this Major League Soccer team. Early on, we were hearing rumors that even Democrats were pretty ticked off that they were kind of kept out of these discussions here, and it might be tough for Joe to try to push this through the city-county council. What are you hearing?
I'm hearing not only is it going to be tough for Joe to push this through the city-county council, but if he does get it through the city-county council, he's still got to go through the state budget committee to get the authorization to expand the public safety district and some other things. And those folks in the state budget committee are all good friends with Ursal Osamir, who's Indy 11. They all support the Indy 11. So this ain't over by a long shot.
What are you doing tonight, Abdul?
Sitting in a chair, going through election results, and hopefully, Honest Gabe Whitley, who's a candidate in the 7th Congressional District, will win because I'm going to have so much fun with him between now and November.
You hope he wins?
Yes, because with all his issues going on right there, he's going to be food for the gods.
I think Rob Kendall's head just spun around hearing that right
like
there.
Linda Blair in The Exorcist.
Abdul, thank you.
Hey, thank you.
We've got tickets to give away to Carb Day right now. 239-9393. Qualifications, Carb Day. We got a fun little game we're going to play, but you have to be caller number 9. 239-9393.
Hey, Low T Center could be a game changer for guys that are getting older and maybe you're tired and you have a lack of motivation and drive or weight gain and loss of muscle mass. It's all signs of low T, low testosterone. At Low T Center, they make it super easy to get your levels checked. Just a simple blood test takes about 25 minutes. Low T Center is not your typical doctor's office. It's concierge medicine for men. They specialize in treating for low T with customized treatments for each patient.
What I love about the Low T Center is that most health insurance is accepted. So you can go in there and, yes, get treated for testosterone, but the Low T Center, they do a little bit of everything. They can screen you for some cancers. They can check you to see if you have sleep apnea issues. It's your one-stop shop for all things men's health. And right now, it's only $25 to get your T level tested, and you're going to get those results back in about 25 minutes. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment online right now. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest plans yet. We're up to 12 times faster than Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And existing customers could even get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability and advanced cybersecurity. It's Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Don't miss out on our fastest speed plans yet. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call 1-800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. In 62324, restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBell and autopay required. Equipment, tax, and fees extra. Compares Comcast Business 1.25 gig to 100 megabit per second 5G internet at Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Up to 3 times download for existing essential and standard customers.
You love spring and indies, so don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and just looked like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield's formulated for our specific climate here in Indiana.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Way better than paint, backed by a 25-year warranty. Right now, get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
A quick question for dads. Is your child's school providing them with the skills they'll need to succeed in the real world? Do you feel like they're safe when they go to school? Do you worry about bullying and drugs? Are they getting a solid foundation in the basics, core subjects like math, reading, and science? How about after-school programs? Does your child have access to quality activities like clubs, arts, and sports? If the neighborhood school isn't working for your child, they're not stuck where they are. You and your child have options. Your child can choose another school, one that's a better fit. There are opportunities for your child to attend other traditional public schools, public charter schools, private school, or there's virtual or homeschool learning, whatever fits best for your kid. Don't settle. Get your child the education they deserve. Make a choice. Make a change. Visit myschooloptions.org. That's myschooloptions.org.
Paid for by the Institute for Quality Education.
Don't want the worry of maintaining your furnace or air conditioner? Join B&W's Premier Club today. Visit bplusw.com/radio to learn more. B&W is your independent American Standard air dealer.
Nobody likes a cold shower. LD Smith has hot deals on water heaters. Save up to $300 on a new water heater install.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
So for our friends that can hear us in Terre Haute, I know it's technically not the central Indiana area, but I know WIBC's signal goes to Terre Haute. Batten down the hatches. Tornado warning for Terre Haute until around 5:15 p.m. Be careful. Again, all afternoon, we're going to get you weather aware. Marcus Bailey of Wish TV will join us coming up here a little bit after 5 o'clock. Matt Bear, what's going on?
All right, Hammer North Split getting beat up today. Southbound 6570. It's a crash before Washington Street. Semi-wreck blocking the right lane, stopping traffic into the North Split. That puts 65 back to MLK, barely moving. Same with inbound 70 on the east side from Emerson Avenue into the North Split. Now we have police activity on the northwest side. This is Harcourt Road south of 79. SWAT team was out there. They've detained a suspect and asking people to stay clear. Again, that's Harcourt south of 79th on the northwest side. West side northbound 465, now stop and go traffic Sam Jones Expressway up to Rockville Road. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Tornado warning for Terre Haute until around 5:15. Tornado watch in effect for the entire WIBC listening area until 9 p.m. tonight. 77 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and let's play IndyCar Driver or Starred on MacGyver.
Hey, man, you like IndyCar? Oh, hell yeah.
And now, time to play IndyCar Driver.
The checkered flag is out. Goodyear makes a move. Little Al wins by just a few tenths of a second.
Or Starred on MacGyver.
Tonight on MacGyver.
IndyCar Driver or Starred on MacGyver.
Name's MacGyver. I'm gonna bust his ass.
Justin was caller number 9. Justin, how the heck are you?
No, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, man. All right, you know the game. I'm going to give you a name of somebody. It will either be a current driver in the IndyCar series or someone who starred on the original and classic series MacGyver. You get 2 out of 3. We're going to give you the tickets to Qualls and Carb Day, okay?
Cool. Sounds good.
Here we go. Number 1, IndyCar driver or starred on MacGyver, Ed Carpenter.
That's a driver.
That is a driver. Damn right it is. All right, get this one right. We're going to throw a party. IndyCar driver or starred on MacGyver, Bruce McGill.
I'm going with MacGyver on that one.
Yeah! There you go. Bruce McGill also D-Day in Animal House.
Oh, he's been in some great movies. He was in the movie Heat.
Yes.
With Robert De Niro and Val Kilmer and Al Pacino.
My Cousin Vinny. He was the
sheriff?
The local
right?
sheriff that had no time for nonsense.
Yeah.
Justin, congratulations. You have won the tickets. Stay on the line, and the lovely Miss Allison will take care of you, okay?
Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, coming up here at 5:06, right after the news, Marcus Bailey, meteorologist for Wish TV, will call our program. Right now, we are tracking tornado warnings in Terre Haute. What does that mean for central Indiana? We will get you up to date with the crazy weather coming up right after the news coming up.
Get ready for storm season because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
No, it's basement. Really moldy underwear.
Well, sometimes.
Ew.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
That moment when you realize you have a serious air conditioner issue.
A real strip down to your skivvies, no one sleeping tonight, head in the freezer fail party. But fear not. There's an expert for that.
Let your local experts at Broad Ripple Service Experts keep you cool with $50 off any repair.
Want to chill? There's an expert for that.
Call Broad Ripple Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
We used to argue about whose turn it was to clean the gutters, but then I had Leaf Filter gutter protection installed.
Wait, I told you Leaf Filter had free inspections and estimates and a lifetime guarantee.
Meaning we never have to argue about whose turn it is to clean the gutters again.
But I visited leaffilter.com/beacon first.
No, I did.
It doesn't matter who. Visit leaffilter.com/beacon to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off today.
See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. If you find yourself racing to finish your shower before the hot water beats you to the checkered flag, then it's time to consider a tankless water heater. During the month of May, my friends at Hope Plumbing are revving up their tankless deals. To celebrate the greatest spectacle in racing, install a tankless water heater and Hope Plumbing will take off $500. Let's go racing and start saving. Call Hope Plumbing or check their website at hopeplumbing.com for all their May deals.
Hey, who's winning? What? Who's winning?
Somebody spinning?
Race fans know the track is loud. For the hard of hearing, this confusion happens every day on the telephone. RelayIndiana.com can help. RelayIndiana.com is a free service that provides telephone access to the hard of hearing, so users have normal phone conversations through relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free equipment to those who qualify. Enjoy the race and phone conversations. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Ryan Hedrick tells you what to expect from tonight's storms. The Indianapolis Fire Department's looking into a possible arson at an apartment this morning, and why the Delphi trial has been delayed again. Donnie Burgess will have that story. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recyclers Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
He says the prosecution's case is falling apart. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump just speaking to reporters after what he called a revealing day in court, where Stormy Daniels has been testifying about her claims of a sexual encounter in 2006, ultimately leading, prosecutors say, to a hush money payment before the 2016 election and falsified business records.
They have nothing on books and records, and even something that should bear very little relationship to the case. It's just a disaster.
The former president echoing defense arguments that Daniels' testimony isn't about the crimes he's accused of committing. But a motion for mistrial, calling the testimony extremely prejudicial, was denied by the judge, who said it's not warranted at this point. The former president also criticizing ongoing campus protests, blaming outside agitators and saying they should be treated the same as what he calls J6 hostages, a reference to jailed Capitol riot suspects. President Biden says his commitment to Israel's security and its right to exist as a Jewish state is ironclad.
Even when we disagree.
Calling for unity against anti-Semitism during a Holocaust remembrance event. But the White House not confirming reports about a hold on weapons shipments to Israel, as some lawmakers press for more information.
Senators Joni Ernst and Ted Budd in a letter to the president yesterday asking which ammunition was withheld from Israel, why, if it was part of the recent national security supplemental passed by Congress, why Congress was not informed, and if the administration will commit to telling Congress about decisions like this in the future.
Fox's Jackie Heinrich at the White House, which says what Israel calls a limited operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah is being watched closely. Meantime, the CIA director back in Cairo for more talks on a ceasefire and hostage deal. Thousands of passengers stuck in line at airports in the UK after what's reported as a computer issue in the system used to check passports. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Rain on the way, mostly cloudy and 77 degrees on the circle. No rain in Indy yet, but a tornado warning has been issued in Terre Haute. That expires in about 15 minutes. Low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for the Michaelis Corporation. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Several rounds of severe weather expected this evening,
including strong tornadoes. I'm Ryan Hedrick. The biggest risk across the state is along the I-69 corridor in areas to its east and south.
So that includes Indianapolis, Muncie, Seymour, Shelbyville, Columbus, Bloomington.
Aaron Updike from the National Weather Service says you should have a designated tornado safe space and pay attention to watches and warnings.
If you're not in those areas, let's say you're west of there, that doesn't mean you're out of the risk. It just means that you have a little bit less of a risk.
Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC, Mobile News.
15 people don't have a place to stay after a possible arson on the northeast side this morning. Indianapolis and Lawrence firefighters were called to a car fire that had spread to an apartment on Cedarstone Court just before 3 this morning. It's just north of East 56th Street, close to 465. One firefighter was hurt, no one else injured. The fire is still being investigated. Delphi murder suspect Richard Allen was in court today, but his trial won't happen this month. Donnie Burgess reports.
October 14th is the new trial start date for the case against Richard Allen, who's charged with killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German 7 years ago. His defense team argued the May trial schedule was too short, and Special Judge Fran Gall refused to extend it. But the defense didn't stop there. They filed a motion to remove Judge Gall yet again. At one point during Tuesday's hearing, the defense team told the judge she didn't know anything about the case. A few more hearings have been set for the end of this month. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Early voting turnout for the May primary was low across most of the state. This morning also got off to a slow start, but these voters didn't mind.
Well, no lines, very organized, in 5 minutes and out in 5 minutes.
Okay, similar experience for you?
Yes, perfect.
Polls are open for one more hour. If you're still in line with those polls closed, you'll still be able to vote, so make sure you stick around. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 5:04.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Okay. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy.
Underwear.
What? It's basement. Really? Moldy underwear?
Well, sometimes.
Ew. I did not need to know that.
Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
With traffic on the 5 set at 5:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison crashed downtown is southbound 6570 before Washington Street. Semi-involved. Right lane taken out. Traffic stopped into the north split. That backs up westbound 72 Emerson Avenue and southbound 65 to MLK. Noblesville crashed northbound 69 after Campus Parkway. 2 right lanes are blocked, stopping traffic for about 2 miles. Looking at the east side, southbound 465 now stopped at Penn Pike because of a stall blocking the left lane. Traffic again, stop and go to stop traffic back to East 56th Street. And we're looking at the northwest side. This is Harcourt Road, south of 79. Police activity and investigation going on, and police asking people to avoid the area if you can. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention, Indy homeowners. Is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Wish TV meteorologist Marcus Bailey joins Hammer and Nigel next. I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a special guest on the hotline.
Marcus Bailey is a meteorologist for Wish TV 8, our news gathering partners. Marcus, I know we've got tornado warnings right now in Terre Haute. Can you hear me, Marcus?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so they kind of dropped that a little bit. I've been staring at radar for the better part of 20 minutes looking at this one. The rotation kind of diminished a little bit, but a lot of times what happens when these storms form is they'll cycle, all right? And so we're getting a lot of these forming just east of the Illinois and Indiana state line. And these are kind of standalone storms. This isn't like, you guys and I have talked a lot when we'll get like kind of one big long line of storms, and we'll say, okay, well, there might be a little bit of an eddy in there where we can get a quick spin up. These are isolated, what we call discrete supercells that are firing, and when you get that kind of rolling in an environment like we have today, where there's a lot of juice, you feel the humidity, and there's some spin in the atmosphere. That's going to allow those storms to kind of freely go and strengthen and spin, and that's going to be kind of the concern here for the next few hours.
So earlier today, we had like some rain and gray skies in the morning, and then the sun came out, and it warmed up pretty good. And Nigel and I were talking in the back. It's like, on one hand, we love seeing the sunshine, but on the other hand, we knew what that was going to do to the atmosphere, and there's a chance we may see some action this evening.
Yeah, and that held pretty true. We felt pretty confident that was going to happen. We watched that kind of overnight complex that created some really big problems out into the Central Plains last night, and that line held together and eventually rolled through, the metro area late morning and around lunchtime. So we knew that there was going to be probably about a 2 to 3 plus hour window that we were going to be able to at least get some sunshine out, destabilize the atmosphere, make things unsettled. And we knew that we have all the ingredients here for some potentially rough storms. Doesn't always mean that it's going to play out where you're going to have numerous storms, but there's definitely a lot of spin in the atmosphere, and I think that's why there's some concern here. It's a tornado threat, and it's a really large hail threat. And that's going to be kind of the thing we're going to be watching through around about 10 o'clock tonight, I think, is kind of the window of opportunity for that.
Oh, it's not till 10?
No, I would say from now until 10. So the end of our severe weather threat would likely be around 10 o'clock. It's starting now.
Yeah, I'm looking outside our studio windows out in Monument Circle, and it's cloudy, and it does look like it's getting sort of darker.
Yeah, so you're getting some of these debris clouds basically from the storms that Hammer mentioned about the tornado warning in Vigo County around Terre Haute earlier. So there's a storm that's kind of it's riding into Greencastle now, so it's over Putnam County. So it's getting closer to Indianapolis. That would be the storm that the city in itself would have to worry about. There's another one up around Crawfordsville. There's a severe thunderstorm warning right now up in Frankfort. So some of the northern listeners just north of Boone and Hamilton counties. So a lot of those clouds out in front of, the main core of the storms are starting to work into the city now, and that's likely what you're seeing here. But it'll get dark here in a hurry because I don't really foresee the storms actually weakening much as they approach the metro area here.
All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. What's our timeline? What are we looking at?
Well, we're in kind of the beginning window of the severe weather threat right now for the city, okay? So this tornado watch is in effect for the entire metro area until 9 p.m. I'm kind of saying that, our severe weather threat is between now and at the latest 10 p.m. tonight. All modes of severe weather are in play. Damaging wind certainly is an issue. I think that hail and tornadoes are going to be kind of the primary concern here. Doesn't mean that we're going to get, a crazy amount of tornadoes, but there's definitely some spin in the atmosphere, and we've already seen some of these storms spinning. So make sure you have a way to get alerts, know where you need to go. I know there's a lot of outdoor sporting events and that kind of stuff. Know where you need to get to in the event that severe weather is closing in you. And again, be on weather alert between now and 10 p.m.
I'm looking at your interactive radar on wishtv.com, and there's some stuff near Crawfordsville creeping up on Lebanon that looks pretty nasty too. I mean, that would affect like maybe the northern counties up, like Boone County, for instance, right?
Yep. That
looks ugly.
Now.
Yeah.
And the problem is, Nigel, this is going into untapped atmosphere. To your guys' point, when you got the sunshine earlier, up in Hamilton County, it hasn't stormed for a good 3-4 hours, and so it's pretty juicy up there. Same thing here in the city. And so as these storms start to kind of go over these untapped areas, they may strengthen very quickly. So things can change in a hurry, and it's a day that you just want to kind of stay updated.
Hey, Marcus, we've got Wish TV on in the studio right now, and they're showing Pacer highlights from last night. Were you able to did you please tell me you went to bed early, right?
I stayed up for a couple of the games against Milwaukee, especially Game 6, the closeout game, so I was pretty sleepy, but I was happy. Last night was one of those games I was like, it's game one. I'll have some other opportunities Because when I woke up and I saw the highlights, I was livid.
Yeah.
So good thing I did
Good
not
idea.
stay up, because then it would have been real tough going to bed last night. And no. So we'll just move on to Wednesday.
All right, Marcus, last thing here before we let you go.
Yes.
Again, Marcus Bailey, meteorologist, Wish TV. There are still some folks that have not gone out and voted yet in the WIBC listening area.
Yep.
All the counties that make that area up. What can you tell us, about the next hour and then until 10 p.m. tonight?
Okay, so polls close at 6. Am I right on
Correct.
that?
Yes.
So, okay. So, I think if you're in the Eastern Metro, so Madison, Hancock, Shelby, so places like Anderson, Pendleton, Greenfield, Shelbyville, you're probably going to be okay. Indy, it's going to be a close call. The more west you are, the greater the risk that you're going to run into getting these storms coming right on you. And then I think even some of our Western Metro counties are already starting to get the rain now. Lebanon, Danville, Brownsburg, or close to it, Martinsville. So you're going to have to contend with some of those storms. So just, be aware of that. And again, there's a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings. Currently no tornado warnings, but just be aware. Make sure you have your alerts on your phone so you don't run into anything real nasty if you do have to run out to the polls real quick here.
Where can we stay weather aware, Marcus?
All right, we are obviously on Wish TV, wishtv.com, and I will be actually live here on social media as soon as I up with you guys on my Facebook page. Just search for Marcus Bailey Weather.
Marcus Bailey, Wish TV. Marcus, you're the best. Thanks, man.
Thanks, fellas.
Producer Allison, let's do a quick round of Is It Racist?
Oh. It's time to play Is It Racist?
Now, for those who may be new to the Hammer and Nigel show, here to explain how we play the game is socialist sweetheart AOC.
Is it racist? Is something racist, yes or no?
Well, that's simple enough.
So, Nigel,
Yes.
New York's Governor Kathy Hochul basically says that black kids are too dumb to know what computers are.
Young black kids growing up in the Bronx who don't even know what the word a computer is. They don't know. They don't know these things. And I want the world open up to all of them, because when you have their diverse voices innovating solutions through technology, then you're really addressing society's broader challenges.
I mean, that's Joe Biden's poor kids are just as bright and talented as white kids moment. I would say that's pretty racist.
Yeah, that's
Black
tough to
kids,
walk back.
They don't know what a computer is.
Because, they grew up in the Bronx and they're black. What?
I don't know. I'm not going to twist myself into a pretzel trying to explain what she was talking about, but I mean, computers have been around a long time.
Right.
Just because you grow up disadvantaged in any way, shape, or form, no matter what color you are, doesn't mean that you don't know what a computer is.
And the way that she said it, it wasn't as if she was saying, maybe they're not computer savvy or there are areas without Wi-Fi. She made it sound like these kids are too dumb to even know what a computer is. So that's a problem. A little more. Is it racist for you?
Even more. Bonus round.
Pro-Hamas protesters on UCLA's campus let everyone know what their goal is. Narrator: it wasn't peace in the Middle East. And then listen, as the second part of this audio of the same protester, the protester gets upset when a UCLA newspaper reporter records some of their shenanigans.
And we're about to get the U.S. imperialist state's ass and the Zionist ass, and they're all going to be dealt with, and we are going to see an end to U.S. imperialism, an end to Zionism within our lifetimes. Oh, the Daily Bruin. These people have been, the Daily Bruin has covered SJP, in a bad way. And she has the audacity to be in front of me while I'm, recording this shit. What the f***? This is actually up. I hate white people. I swear to God, if they write about me, I'm calling it racist.
A lot to digest there,
Wait a
Nige.
minute. She goes, if they write about me, I'm going to call them racist.
Right.
I got news for you, lady. That was a lady, right?
Yes.
Who knows that was a lady?
Yes.
I got news for you. That term racist, especially when there is no racism involved, doesn't mean anything anymore. It's been so watered down by your kind that it's a shame because there is racism in this country, but it's just questioned every time now because of people like this. I'm going to call you a racist. Okay, have at it. Go for it.
I'm going to raise my hand here.
Yeah.
Wasn't she the one that said she hates white people?
Yeah.
Did I hear that in the audio
There's
clip?
also that component of that clip. I hate white people, and if they write stuff about me, I'm going to call them a racist.
And she mentions the whole protest isn't even about a ceasefire or the returning of hostages or peace in the Middle East. It was about to bring down the American way of life. She says it out loud, and then the UCLA student reporter records her, and she gets upset and says, I hate white people, you're the racist. A lot going on there.
That's what we're dealing with here.
Matt Bear.
Crash downtown, southbound 6570. It involves a semi. Right now, the right lane is blocked. Traffic stopped to MLK. If you're at the back, it's going to take you 31 minutes to make it to Washington. Westbound 70 also jammed up Emerson Avenue into the north split. If you're trying to dump off into the collector right now, that's okay. That's moving up to speed. It's the through portion of southbound 6570, like you're going to Louisville or Greenwood, that's backed up right now. Northbound 69 Noblesville, crash after Campus Parkway. Two right lanes are blocked and traffic is stopped for 3 miles back to 126th Street. Northwest side, a police activity, Harcourt Road south of 79th. Please avoid. Also seeing a stall that just cleared on the east side, southbound 465 at Penn Pike. Still stop and go traffic from 79th down to East 56th Street. Traffic sponsored by the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Got a little breaking news here for you, Nige. From Politico 5 minutes ago, Judge Cannon indefinitely postpones Donald Trump's classified documents trial.
Oh, boy, that deranged prosecutor, Jack Smith, is going to go off the rails.
He is definitely going to flip out a little bit. This was tweeted to us from @SunnyFarmer. Democrats are losing. They are losing. So that is from Politico. I'll retweet that here in just a moment.
I'm trying to look for a reason why here.
Was bullcrap on the list? Adam Wren at Politico said the whole thing was bullcrap. Who's definitely not a pencil neck, if you ask him. Right now, it's 78 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, keeping our eye on the weather. You heard Marcus Bailey earlier. Parts of WIBC's listening area already starting to see some heavy rain. Storm system will be making its way through. 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. is the window. So be weather aware, and we've got you covered all night long here at 93 WIBC. Are you okay with this? Next.
According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 71% of non-retired adults are worried about retirement saving. At Howard Bailey Financial, we don't believe retiring with confidence should be guesswork. In fact, our mission is to help you gain clarity and purpose and elevate meaning in your life through personal and practical financial strategies. That's why we provide our Retire with Purpose toolkit at no cost. In it, you'll find valuable information on minimizing taxes, maximizing Social Security, and building a retirement income you won't outlive. To receive your complimentary toolkit, text CLARITY to 866-482-9559. Take a step toward a more confident retirement with Howard Bailey Financial and text CLARITY to 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Uline is here for the hard workers, for the ones rolling up their sleeves, working round the clock, and getting the job done. You're dedicated to doing what it takes to keep a business growing. Uline is dedicated to helping you make that happen. Working 7 days a week, staying fully stocked and ready to ship any of our 41,000 items the same day. Uline, your shipping and industrial supply specialists. Visit uline.com.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Maintenance is going to drastically increase the efficiency and performance of your system. It's also going to significantly improve the longevity of it. People think that they are saving money by skipping their maintenance, and in reality, they're just shaving years off the life and increasing the consumption of that unit, spending a lot more in the long term.
Get your tune-up today at Family Heating and Air, your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Indiana Pathways for Aging helps Hoosier Medicaid members age 60 and over get support at no additional cost to live life their way.
Mom's Parkinson's is progressing, and Pathways provides in-home support so she can be with family every day.
Pathways coordinates Medicaid and Medicare services. I'm getting help with meals, personal care, and transportation.
One day, I might choose a nursing home, but today, I have options with Pathways.
Eligible members can select a plan now. Call 87 Pathway 4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Attention Indiana homeowners. Are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see our great selection of grills. We have Weber, Traeger, the Big Green Egg, and all the accessories.
Everyone knows that soaking in Epsom salts can make you feel better. Now imagine soaking in Epsom salts in a Royal Spa hot tub.
Royal Spa.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
Are you really okay with this?
Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show. Oh, yeah! Democrat Rep. Crazy Maxine Waters.
Vaccine Waters.
She kind of floated a completely unhinged conspiracy theory that right-wing organizations are training up in the hills somewhere to attack communities if Trump loses.
I'm going to ask the Justice Department and I'm going to ask the president to tell us what they're going to do to protect this country against violence if he loses. I want to know about all of those right-wing organizations that he's connected with who are training up in the hills somewhere and targeting, what communities they're going to attack.
What about these organizations that are organizing anti-Israel, pro-Hamas protests? She doesn't seem too concerned with those. Are you okay with comments from the representative from California?
No, I can't say that I'm okay with that, Nige. And there are some really dumb people who run this country. And it's on both sides of the political scale. I'm well aware of that. But when you're ranking them, like in a March Madness style bracket of the dumbest people that are in charge of running this country, 850-year-old Maxine Waters has got to be toward the top of the list. Like, she's the Duke or the Kansas in this tournament, right? She's a moron. She's a lunatic. So if I'm understanding this correctly, Maxine Waters thinks there's a group of people wearing MAGA hats that are doing like Al-Qaeda-style training videos where they're swinging on monkey bars somewhere, getting ready to invade a city just in case Donald Trump gets beat.
She's not worried about the Summer of Love rioters. She wasn't worried about the violent protests on college campuses across the country. She's worried about, what was it, right-wing organizations training up in the hills somewhere.
Correct. Up in the hills.
You know, she's the one that encouraged her supporters to harass Trump officials when Trump was in office. Quote, if you see somebody from the cabinet in a restaurant, in the department store, at a gas station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anywhere.
Push back on them being the important part of that. And keep in mind, like I said earlier, circling this back to the beginning, the stupid people that run this country. She was the woman that fell for a morning show in Russia making a prank phone call where they pretended to be Greta Thunberg.
That was awesome.
Saying that Donald Trump threatened to lock her in a cage at the border. These are the people we're talking about here. So, no, I'm not okay with this. I love the fact that she thinks the MAGA hat-wearing people are doing the Al-Qaeda video, swinging on the monkey bars, climbing the rope. By the way, did that ever help Al-Qaeda? Was there ever a situation where they had to swing on monkey bars?
Man, comedian Shane Gillis does such a great bit on that whole thing. It is so funny. You got to check his special out on Netflix.
All right, here's the deal. Look, Fat, here's the deal. We got a lot going on. It's election day. We got crazy weather going on. But I think it's the perfect time to do caller roulette.
Oh, yeah, wonderful. Let the callers take over.
Anything can happen, right? 239-9393. If you want to talk about the election, you can. If you want to talk about the weather, you can. If you want to hit on Harrison Silcox or Allison, you can do that. If you want to rip on myself or Nigel or Tony Katz or Rob Kendall or Casey or whoever, or maybe you want to propose to us, I don't know. Anything can happen here. Most radio shows screen out the call. All we're going to have Allison do is get your name. So these are the rules. Do not swear. Keep it brief. That's all we're asking. 239-9393. Caller roulette. Anything happens right after the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
You've been hearing about the storms all day. Mostly cloudy, 77 degrees downtown. Radar shows rain moving east to west over Crawfordsville and Greencastle at the moment. Low of 60 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Severe weather is likely to happen this evening.
The greatest risk across Indiana is in the I-69 corridor in east and south of there. So that includes Indianapolis, Muncie, Seymour, Shelbyville, Columbus, Bloomington, all of that area in east.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service expects that most severe weather will happen after 6 p.m., so here in about 30 minutes. A tornado watch is in effect for more than 30 different Indiana counties. That includes Marion. Allen County's recently been added to that list. It ends at 9 o'clock tonight. IMPD says a person of interest is in custody after a homicide investigation on the north side this afternoon along Harcourt Road, just south of West 79th Street. They're still asking people to avoid the area. The Delphi defense team has asked Judge Gall to be removed from the case again. Donnie Burgess reports the trial has also been rescheduled.
The attorneys for Richard Allen told Judge Fran Gall Tuesday she knew nothing about the case, and they stand by their claim that she's biased, so they want her gone. Meanwhile, the case was postponed to October as the judge refused to extend the May trial schedule. There will be a hearing at the end of this month to determine what evidence will be allowed at trial. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Former President Donald Trump spoke to reporters after testimony from Stormy Daniels this afternoon in his New York hush money trial.
Their case is totally falling apart. They have nothing on books and records, and even something that should bear very little relationship to the case. It's just a disaster.
Daniels' testimony is expected to continue tomorrow. Trump is charged with falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments made to the former adult actress. There was an officer-involved shooting in Anderson Tuesday. Sam Fritz reports.
Anderson police responded to an officer-involved shooting on Broadway Street Tuesday, just outside of a Get-Go gas station. They say that a Pendleton police officer initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle that was part of a criminal investigation. There was a female driver and a male passenger in the car. The male would shoot at the officer. The cop fired back, and both were struck during the altercation. The officer is in stable condition. They were treated at an Anderson hospital. The suspect has been transported to an Indianapolis hospital and is currently in serious condition. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.56, says Gas Buddy. And with traffic at 5:32, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison downtown. Semi-crash southbound 6570 before Washington Street. Right lane blocked. This backs up 72 Emerson Avenue. This backs up 65 to MLK. Both are delayed seriously. Looking at Noblesville, northbound 69 after Campus Parkway. Crash blocking 2 right lanes, stopping traffic all the way back to Fisher State Road 37. Our delay time right now, 23 minutes. Northwest side, it is a crash at 71st Street near Harcourt. Also looking at the south side, eastbound 465, slow traffic from Man Road over to Harding. We also see a stall on the ramp from westbound 465 to Man Road. That ramp is open, but it is partially blocked. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, polycast, aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. Tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
National Weather Service in Indianapolis also issuing a severe thunderstorm warning that includes Kokomo, Tipton, and Indian Heights. That goes until 6:30 this evening. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
We are keeping track of the weather. We've got action beginning here, and with an update, we've got Kurt Darling from the WIBC News Center. He's got everything you need to know in regards to this severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, for Tipton.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for East Central Clinton County, Howard County, Tipton County until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At 5:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 11 miles east of Frankfort, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Expected hazards include golf ball-size hail and 60 miles per hour wind gusts. This is a radar-indicated threat. The following impacts are expected. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Kokomo, Tipton, Windfall, Greentown, Rushville, Sharpsville, Kempton, and Indian Heights. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once into the basement or small central room in a sturdy structure. For your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. A tornado watch remains in effect until 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for central Indiana. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for the following counties in Indiana: Clinton, Howard, and Tipton.
Buckle up. Anything can happen here.
Oh, hell yeah. Let it ride. Let it ride.
Hammer and Nigel present Caller Roulette.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a good chance we may have to break down from time to time to update you on some new watches and warnings that may be taking place with the weather.
Kurt Darling sounded like a damn robot.
It may have been AI, Kurt Darling, I think. But he's back in the weather center running these severe weather bulletins. Yep. So we'll keep you up to date. In the meantime, let's light this candle, man.
Oh, boy.
Again, if you're on hold, turn your radio down. Please keep it clean. Allison, we got the dump button ready to go. Rock and roll. Chris, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What do you want to talk about?
I was just going to see if I can maybe request a song.
Sure. What do you want to hear?
That new Afro Man version of
Hunter.
Because Hunter got high.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we ever play that?
We
played
did.
That, didn't we?
Yeah. All right. So I'll tell you what, after caller roulette here around 5:50, maybe we can try to get that on for you. That's the ultimate DJ response. Yeah, man, we'll try to get that on for you.
Wait, narrator, we never get it on for you.
Fred, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. How are you, Fred?
I'm doing all right. I'm just wondering when they're going to have Trump go through a borderline personality disorder test.
I don't know. Nige?
Who was this? What did he say?
He wants to know when Trump is going to go through a borderline personality test.
What's a borderline personality test?
I don't know. What would you like to see, Fred?
Well, the way he acts, it's just like 1 minute he wants to hug you, and the next minute he wants to shove you away. And I've dealt with borderline personality.
Marion is up next. Marion, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. We're doing caller roulette. What would you like to talk about?
Hey, guys. I wanted to thank some people, if you have just a minute here. About a week ago, my wife was involved in a water rescue up in Hamilton County, and I think y'all ran a blip on it.
Oh, my gosh.
It's been all over the place. But I want to really give a shout-out to the fella that eventually saw my wife in there. She was upside down in the car for anywhere between 40 and 60 minutes in the water.
That is so scary.
And there was a fella came by, and then he came back and checked to see if there was anybody in the car. And I just want to thank him, and I want to thank the Jackson Township and White River Township fire departments, the Hamilton County Sheriff, and the DNR, and anybody else that was out there. And especially, I want to thank God for saving my wife's life.
Man, that's pretty powerful stuff. And God is good all the time, and I'm so happy that things worked out for you.
Add that to the list of fears of dying for me, being trapped in a
it's
car.
I can't even watch the thing without tearing up.
Well, Marion, I'm glad everything worked out for you. Real quick, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Morgan and Hendricks County until 6:22, according to the National Weather Service. That is a severe thunderstorm warning for Morgan and Hendricks County until 6:22. And Kurt, I know you're back there in the news center. Just give me a thumbs up whenever you need to take something, okay? Let's go to Southside Tom. Southside Tom, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. I promise I'm not AI. I'm not AI, whatever that means. But quick surprising fact, a few more minutes for polls to be open. Annapolis Public Schools closed School 65 on South Asbury by the UIndy campus a few years ago. But it's good enough for a polling place, and the people over there would be happy to see you. And just a quick final thought, I will be happy to go out my mailbox tomorrow and not have to carry my trash can with me anymore. So thank God this thing's over. At least we hope so.
Got it. Hey, real quick, I know we got some more folks on hold. Stay there. But right now, we got to check in with Kurt Darling in the WIBC Weather Center.
This is a severe weather alert from the Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning Storm Desk.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northern portions of Morgan County in central Indiana, as well as southern Hendricks County and southeastern Putnam County in west central Indiana until about 6:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At about 5:30, a severe thunderstorm was located about 7 miles east of Greencastle, or about 31 miles north of Bloomington, moving east at about 40 miles an hour. Hazards include 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as well as quarter-sized hail. Hail damage to vehicles is expected. Impacted locations include Plainfield, Mooresville, Danville, Avon, Brooklyn, Monrovia, Clayton, Fillmore, Coatesville, Amo, Stylesville, Bell Union, Lake Hart, and Little Point. This also includes portions of I-70 between mile markers 44 and 69. Again, the National Weather Service in Indianapolis issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Morgan County as well as Hendricks and Putnam County until 6:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
You're just minutes away from another severe weather update. Brought to you by Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right. Thank you, Kurt Darling in the WIBC Weather Center. Back to caller roulette. Roger, rock and roll. Roger, what do you want to talk about?
You know what? I love you guys. I listen all the time. I love Rob and Casey and all of that. And I like Tony, but...
Oh, there's a big butt coming.
But
right, exactly. He's an intelligent person, but I don't get why a lot of the times he talks about I and me, or inserts himself into the stories as much as he does.
He's a radio personality. That's what we do.
Tony Katz is our Terrell Owens. He loves him some him, right? Remember when T.O. said, I love me some me? That's Tony Katz. He's got 2 shows, so I guess he can do that, I guess.
3. He's got the Eat, Drink, Smoke as well.
Well, that's true. That's true. So thank you, Roger. Lindsay is up next. Lindsay, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
What's up?
Good.
Good. I got 3 quick things. Number 1, I want to thank your wife, Crystal, the crazy coupon lady. I wouldn't have made it through this economy as a single mom without her, so please send her my love.
Will do.
Number 2, if you didn't watch the Tom Brady roast yet, it's a no miss. And 3, please tell Rob Kendall to keep ragging on these property taxes so we can all stay in our homes. Thanks, guys. Love what you do.
Thank you.
I've lived in my house 10 years. My property taxes have doubled.
It's ridiculous.
In Boone County.
And listen, as much as it pains us to give any sort of props to Rob Kendall, he is the face of fighting back against property tax. That's who he is, man. And he's got a big bully pulpit on that show that he has, and I'm glad that he does it. I am. Jake, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, Earth Rider. Thanks for the zodiac, the wheel in the sky that keeps turning, and for karma, and for the Pacers and the Knicks that are back in the mix. And I'll go on with the rest of the bit, man. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to yell Regina, but I got a question for you guys. Remember, and Nige, you were probably in Texas, and Hammer, you were probably at college at the time, the same college I went to a little bit early before you. The best teams in the NBA in the 97, 98, when I moved to Broad Ripple, and I went to some of those, it was the Chicago Bulls, the Indiana Pacers, the New York Knicks. There was nothing on the western side that could compete with any 3 of them teams, but the Indiana Pacers almost took the Chicago Bulls in that 7th game.
That was a heartbreaker.
Oh, man, I'm telling you what, dude, I still remember to this day that heartbreak. But we don't the good thing about last night, watching this, the energy is back, the similarities are there, and hopefully we can get this thing rolling again back in Indy, because I remember those days, man, and I loved it so much, and it brings back fond memories. So, go Pacers, Regina!
Thank you, Jake. Man, one could make a case that team that lost to the Bulls was better than the team that made it to the NBA Finals, because that Bulls team,
really,
that team that lost to the Bulls was so good, but you ran into the greatest of all time, right? Michael Jordan in Game 7 at home. and the Pacers had him beat. They did. They had him beat. And as Denny Green once said, they let him off the hook.
Yeah.
Let's go to Jay. Jay, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. Jay, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, guys. Love your show. Hey, I have inside information about the Walmart south of Indianapolis. Their budget for loss, for theft and stuff, is $2.7 million for the year.
Woo! It's a lot of money.
If that's true, that's a lot.
Out in California, they're thinking about passing a law where they don't have those self-checkouts anymore. So that way, people can't steal from them. But I say what the law should be, if you can only order stuff online, then close all those stores out there and put all the homeless people in it.
That's a man that's got it all figured out right there. That's Jay. And we're going to give Larry the last word.
Oh, no.
Larry, make it brief. Rock and roll.
Hey, look, I voted for Suzanne Crouch. I got a Republican ballot. I think she's going to be our next governor. And
why did you vote? Why did you vote for her?
Because she looks like an ostrich, and she's going to be our next governor. And also with my girl, what's her name? Suzanne, not Crouch, but the other lady, the Ukrainian.
Oh, Victoria Spartz.
Victoria Spartz. I had Pete to send my resume to her. I want to be abused by her, so I hope she hires me, and that's my dream job now.
And that wraps up Caller Roulette. Thank you so much for all of your calls. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Love American Standard products. I only use American Standard dealers. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those local, independent, fantastic dealers.
How about Stevenson Heating and Cooling? That's Stevenson Heating and Cooling. Love these guys. Stevenson Heating and Cooling. They're in Mooresville. Owner Richard Stevenson has 30 years of experience and loves to be in the field working with customers. A married veteran with 3 daughters, Richard and his staff will treat your house like their own. Fair and honest service has led to referral after referral, and that's why Stevenson Heating and Cooling is growing into what they are today. So if you're in Morgan or the surrounding counties, call your American Standard Heating and Air dealer, Stevenson Heating and Air, 317-557-8532. That's 317-557-8532. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Hoosiers have a choice on who they send to Washington and deserve to know the facts before voting. Jefferson Shreve caves to the radical left on our values and is a never-Trump moderate. Jamison Carrier, well, he filed for bankruptcy, owing thousands in tax liens, claims his primary residence is in Florida, voted there this last election. I'm Mike Speedy, and I approve this message. By the grace of God, I beat cancer, and with your help, we can beat these lying politicians and save America.
Mike Speedy is the only candidate who is both endorsed by Indiana Right to Life and is A+ rated by the NRA. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th. Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Guys, let's talk game. Practice just wrapped up with the annual spring game. Your team looks promising this fall, but how's your game? Testosterone therapy can help you get back to your best, and spring is the time to start. We recommend Low T Center.
They make it quick and easy. Walk in, take a simple blood test, and get your results back in about 25 minutes. If you feel tired, if you've seen weight gain, loss of muscle mass, could be low T. And lowtcenter.com is the place where you book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Hey, what's up? Hammer here. After a full day of working with Nigel, I could imagine nothing better than going home and getting lazy in a Lazy Boy from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Thompson Furniture in Columbus guarantees the lowest price and free delivery within 75 miles of Columbus and interest-free financing on all Lazy Boy furniture.
Hey, it's Nigel. Right now, Thompson's is having a Lazy Boy 50% off sale. The only place to buy your Lazy Boy furniture is Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. Long live the lazy.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now, through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $2,800 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
Reggie was a nurse for 16 years.
I had become very burnt out. I wasn't making good money.
Then it happened.
There was an ad for My Computer Career, and it just spoke to me.
My Computer Career was the best decision he ever made.
I could study anywhere from my laptop, and I was working in the first couple weeks of me being in class.
Reggie hit a home run.
The field is teeming with jobs.
Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The school is amazing.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
This is a severe weather alert from the Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning Storm Desk.
The National Weather Service in Indianapolis issuing a tornado warning for southeastern Howard County as well as northern Tipton County until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. At about 5:45, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located about 11 miles east of Frankfort, moving east at about 35 miles an hour. Hazards include the tornado as well as half-dollar-sized hail. This radar-indicated threat will have debris flying through the air at dangerous locations as well as mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, vehicles will occur as well. Locations include Tipton, Windfall, and Sharpsville. You're urged to take cover immediately if you're within this warning. Again, tornado warning issued for southeastern Howard County as well as northern Tipton County until 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
You're just minutes away from another severe weather update. Brought to you by Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, Matt Bear, a lot going on. Well, how are the roads?
Southbound 65 downtown crash blocking the right lane, stopping traffic on 70 back to Emerson, stopping traffic on 65 past 21st Street. Crash clear Hamilton County, northbound 69, still traffic left over. We are jammed up from State Road 37 up to 126th Street, but the front of the line clearing out fast. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see their great selection of grills, Weber, Traeger, and Napoleon grills, along with the Big Green Egg. Matt Bear at WIBC Traffic.
All right, tornado warning has been issued for Tipton, Howard counties until 6:30 p.m. We are going to collect all of these warnings and watches. We're going to get you up to date right after the news at 6. Plus, polls are about to close in Central Indy. You got about 6 minutes left. After 6, we're going to check in with Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC newsroom. He is embedded with Mike Braun at his campaign. Do not go anywhere. Live Hour, next.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest plans yet. We're up to 12 times faster than Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And existing customers could even get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability and advanced cybersecurity. It's Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Don't miss out on our fastest speed plans yet. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call 1-800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. In 62324, restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBell and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares Comcast Business 1.25 gigs to 100 megabit per second 5G internet at Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Up to 3 times downloads for existing essential and standard customers.
She isn't working for us, so who is Victoria Spartz working for in Congress? Victoria Spartz said she'd fight the radical left, but spoke in defense of the squad's Ilhan Omar and refused to officially condemn Rashida Tlaib after her hateful, anti-Semitic statements. While there's an invasion on our southern border, Spartz votes to send $40 billion of our tax dollars to Ukraine. Victoria Spartz also says she stands with President Trump. Truth is, Spartz stated it's irrelevant who the president is and helps the Biden administration pass their agenda. Chuck Goodrich is an America First conservative. Chuck built a business that hires and builds American, and Chuck voted to end sanctuary cities. Chuck puts our national defense first by banning any Chinese presence near our military and National Guard bases. Chuck Goodrich fights for our values, voting to protect female sports and keep biological males from competing against young women in Indiana. Vote Chuck Goodrich for Congress. Paid for by Go With Chuck Goodrich.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio. I'm Kate Sharon. After an influx of new apartment builds, New Albany is pausing the construction of new rental housing while the city creates a comprehensive plan to guide its housing development future. The City Council unanimously approved Mayor Jeff Gahan's multifamily, non-owner-occupied housing construction moratorium. The decision is based on a University of Louisville study showing a slowly shrinking home ownership rate and predicted growth of residents desiring those opportunities.
I think we're on the right track. We're pumping the brakes. Put a moratorium in place for a year so we can do a comprehensive plan and, plan a future that we can all be, we can all make sure that we're not getting overloaded in one area or one product versus another.
The study found the home ownership rate of 54.5% is low compared to similar cities, and a significant number of single-family homes are rented rather than owner-occupied. Ultrahuman, a maker of so-called smart rings headquartered in Indiana, has announced plans for a manufacturing facility in the state that could create up to 150 jobs. The company says it plans to invest about $5 million in the plant, known as the Ultra Factory, though a specific location has not yet been identified. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
At Indiana University, we're undaunted by challenge. We take the lead. We don't follow the crowd. Embracing the future with creativity and bravery. Unapologetically optimistic. Equipped with the knowledge and intention to change the world. Because bold is who we are. 9 campuses, 1 purpose. Creating tomorrow, today. Indiana University. Bring on tomorrow. Join us at iu.edu.
Indianapolis-based PaxAF Incorporated, which helps customers identify and avoid potential supply chain disruptions, has secured $9 million in Series A funding to fuel the company's growth. The investment brings PaxAF's total raised to date to $14 million since its founding in 2018. Commissioner of the Horizon League Julie Rowe Lotch is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Kate Sharon for 93.1 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the storms that you've been warned about have finally arrived. Donnie Burgess reports on a rescheduling in the Delphi trial, and one Republican candidate for governor, how he's feeling on Election Day. It's coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis.
A high-profile witness takes the stand. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Adult film star Stormy Daniels testifies at former President Trump's hush money trial.
The former president's lawyers said there should be a mistrial because Daniels described a consensual relationship. The defense sought to portray Daniels as vindictive, using her tweets and interviews in cross-examination. After court, the former president said the state's case is crumbling.
They have nothing on books and records, and even something that should bear very little relationship to the case.
The former president says he should be on the campaign trail, not in court. which will resume Thursday morning.
Fox's Colonel Scott in New York City. Daniels is expected to resume her testimony on Thursday when court reconvenes. The judge in former President Trump's classified documents case has postponed that trial indefinitely. The trial was set to begin May 20th. Trump has pled not guilty to 37 felony charges related to special counsel Jack Smith's investigation, including willful retention of national defense information, conspiracy to obstruct justice, and false statements. At a Holocaust remembrance ceremony at the White House, President Biden calling out anti-Semitic protests on college campuses.
I understand that's America, but there is no place on any campus in America, any place in America, for anti-Semitism or hate speech or threats of violence of any kind.
And the president again said the U.S. support for Israel is ironclad, even when we disagree. At least one person is dead, and there's lots of damage after a tornado touched down last night in the small Oklahoma town of Barnsdall, about 40 miles north of Tulsa. It was the second tornado hit the town in 5 weeks. The National Weather Service says it got 17 reports of tornadoes from last night through early this morning in the central U.S. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Those storms are here. Radar shows rain in Plainfield and in Tipton County. There's also a tornado warning until 6:30 in Tipton. Cloudy and 76 downtown. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 6:02. Even if you haven't gotten storms yet, it doesn't mean you're in the clear.
You're not in those areas, let's say you're west of there. That doesn't mean you're out of the risk. It just means that you have a little bit less of a risk than the further east areas.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. Several Indiana counties still under that tornado watch until 9 tonight. If you have a safe place to go when you're under one of those warnings, you better go and get to that safe area. 15 people are without a place to stay after a possible arson on the northeast side this morning. Indianapolis and Lawrence firefighters were called to a car fire that had spread to an apartment on Cedarstone Court just before 3 in the morning. That's just north of East 56th Street near 465. One firefighter was hurt, no one else injured. The fire still being investigated. Another delay in the Delphi trial. Donnie Burgess reports.
October 14th is the new trial start date for the case against Richard Allen, who's charged with killing Abigail Williams and Liberty German 7 years ago. His defense team argued the May trial schedule was too short, and Special Judge Fran Gall refused to extend it. But the defense didn't stop there. They filed a motion to remove Judge Gall yet again. At one point during Tuesday's hearing, the defense team told the judge she didn't know anything about the case. A few more hearings have been set for the end of this month. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Indiana Senator Mike Braun is with several candidates for governor, hoping to get the Republican nomination tonight.
In a full field like this, with 4 well-financed campaigns, it's going to probably be a record for any primary, and I think a dubious one at best.
Speaking in Whitestown earlier today, 6 total GOP candidates looking for that nomination tonight. Polls have closed. WIBC's election coverage starts in an hour. The average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.56, says Gas Buddy. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather at 6:04.
Big news from Window Nation. It's their semi-annual sale now through May 31st, and it's a really big deal. For a limited time only, Window Nation is celebrating by giving you 50% off all windows, along with 0% interest for 5 years, plus an additional bonus savings offer when you schedule an appointment now. If your old windows leak water, have condensation, or moldy or rotten, get hot to the touch, or you're just tired of paying high utility bills, that's a big deal. And with Window Nation's semi-annual sale, you could replace your windows and save a big deal too.
This month only, get 50% off all windows, plus 0% interest for 5 years, and bonus savings offer when you schedule your appointment today. Put an end to your window problems and get them installed before the summer heat arrives. Schedule a fast, no obligation in-home consultation now with the pros at Window Nation. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
The traffic on the 5s at 6:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, crash cleanup continues downtown. It's southbound 6570 at Washington Street, and the right lane is blocked by the semi-crash. Traffic stopped on 65 back to 29th Street and stopped back to Emerson Avenue on I-70. Looking at 71st east of Guyan, that is a crash clear northbound 69 after Campus Parkway. Traffic sponsored by Direct Auto. Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. New name, same low down payments. Go to directauto.com for a free quote. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Tornado warning for Tipton until 6:30 p.m. That is a tornado warning for Tipton County until 6:30. Severe thunderstorm warning for Grant County until 6:30 p.m. Polls are now closed in central Indiana. It's the Hammer and Nigel show. I'm Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here.
Hello.
Indiana primary. And let's go live to the Mike Braun camp. Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC newsroom. He's kind of embedded with the Braun camp tonight. Ryan, how's the vibe over there at the celebration/event for Mike Braun?
Yeah, good evening, Hammer and Nigel. It is, I would describe it as a mix of nervous excitement, hopeful confidence, anticipation. The crowd is getting larger here. We're in the back of the Moontown Brewery in Whitestown. Really, really nice place. Braun spoke to us for about 4.5 minutes, and when I say us, I mean about the 10 or 15 reporters that are assembled statewide here that have descended upon the brewery. And I think he talked about 5 main things. You know, he talked about how he was feeling, and I think Harrison touched on this in the news, about how expensive and contentious this race has gotten. He also addressed low voter turnout. The lieutenant governor, he didn't say her name, but Abdul did on Twitter. I understand State Rep Julie McGuire. And, if he has concerns that Hoosiers believe that he may not have revealed as much as they wanted him to reveal in the 3 debates that he had.
So, Ryan, let's backtrack here just a little bit. So Sure. It sounds like, according to your reporting, Mike Braun is leaning toward a lieutenant governor to be named. Is that right?
Well, what he said exactly was that he is going to make a recommendation. He's not going to let the party choose. I know Abdul had reported about State Rep Julie McGuire, but he didn't reveal her name. He said he was going to make a recommendation.
So this would be bad news, I guess, for the Micah Beckwith supporters who have been wanting Micah Beckwith to get to the convention and have a puncher's chance at this thing.
Yeah, and he actually did address that, and he acknowledged Micah Beckwith's efforts, but he kind of sidestepped that and said that he was going to make the recommendation.
Hey, Ryan, Nigel here. Besides reporters, who else is there at the Mike Braun camp there at Moontown? I've been there. Yeah, it's really nice there. Great brisket.
Yeah, it is a nice place.
Great brisket, by the way. But who else is there? Is it Mike Braun supporters? Is it family? Who else?
Well, we have to acknowledge the ground game today that Mike Braun said was out in full effect for several hours before the campaign. So I think a lot of his volunteers have joined. Some of his press people from Washington, D.C. have flown in, and people that are just concerned Hoosiers that want to see the state trend in a more positive direction. They want their property taxes lower. They want the border closed. They want crime to continue to go down. We know Indianapolis is the epicenter for crime right now. So I think a mix of supporters and volunteers and people from Washington, D.C. that have been on this journey with him for the past 6 years.
Did you get a sense of why? You mentioned that Mike Braun said it was a contentious race. Do you have a sense of why he thinks it was so there was a lot of
bad blood?
Bad blood, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so, if you go back 6 years ago, he talked about the euphoria of winning the primary when he didn't have a puncher's chance as a senator, and all the money, think about all the money that Senator Schumer threw into that Senate race to try to knock Mike Braun out, and he defied the odds. I mean, in the primary, he was polling at 1% 6 years ago, and against all odds, he withstood those chances and got to the main race, where he eventually defeated the incumbent Joe Donnelly. So he made that a reality. He made that dream a reality, and he points to financing his own campaign. He talks about he didn't write any checks for this campaign. He did it on the ground. He did it knocking on doors. He visited all 92 counties. But, you know, when you have 4 well-financed campaigns like we had with this race for governor, that's rare, guys. Think about that. Think about all the races around the country and all the races for governor. There's mainly probably 1 to 2 well-financed campaigns. We had 4 well-financed campaigns in Indiana. That is actually amazing.
Now, I like Mike Braun. He's been really good to this show, but it's kind of a tough sell to say, I defied the odds when you've got that level of wealth, right? It's not like he's, the little sisters of the poor here. It's easy to fight fire with fire when you got a couple zeros in that bank account.
Sure. And I mean, 30 years ago, when he took over his father's business, it was failing. And I think a lot of business guys, Donald Trump laid this out very well when he came down that escalator in 2015 as a regular Joe Schmo business guy. Even Donald Trump was an elite, wealthy businessman. Now all these politicians are following that roadmap that Donald Trump laid out so well. And of course, they're going to play to the average Hoosier. They're going to play to the Hoosier that's being killed by inflation. They're going to be played by the Hoosier that's getting up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning to go to an 8-hour job that they may or may not like to feed their families. That type of narrative plays very well to people that come out to the polls and vote.
We're chatting with Ryan Hedrick from the WIBC newsroom. He is embedded at the Mike Braun camp as it is Indiana primary night. Ryan, if you buy into polling, we've seen Mike Braun be the front runner for a long time now, but the last couple of polls that have came out have showed his numbers going down just a little bit. Is that just a result of him being the front runner, so he's taking the most arrows, or is there another candidate that they're worried about?
I don't think he's worried about anything. I think that he thinks that the race will be dictated by the number of people who finance this race. He goes back to every penny was raised here, and more than any other candidate. I don't think $10 to $11 million were raised. This is going to be a very expensive race when it's all said and done. I think he's just focusing on what he does best, and he harkened back to his 6-year record as a senator with low property taxes. I asked him about that as well with low property taxes. He says that he's going to continue to build a constituent base and continue to build on the success that he had helping Hoosiers cut past the red tape with the federal government. So I don't think he's worried about any one candidate per se. I think they feel very confident. Like I said at the outset, it's a mix of nervous kind of anticipation and just a buzz of, waiting for the polls to close, which they have, and then waiting for the race to be called, which in 2018, I think it was called at 8 o'clock.
So, Ryan, before we let you go here, I know you're going to be there all night, and we expect to hear from Mike Braun later on tonight, win or lose. If indeed he is the winner, let's just say these polls are correct, can you do us a favor and sneak in a question specifically about property taxes? Can you help a brother out?
Sure, absolutely. I actually did get a question about property taxes in during the 4:15 presser. And he said this, he said, I think I was talking about property taxes more than anyone. This is a direct quote from Mike Braun. I have a record of it, 5 years. So if you have any questions, look there. He says he has one of the best records ever for a freshman U.S. Senate office. And what he has done here through constituent services, meaning all the dust-ups that Hoosiers have to deal with the federal government, he promises to listen to people that voted for him and the people that did not vote for him. That's what he said a couple of hours ago.
All right, Ryan. Looking forward to your coverage tonight. Coverage of election night in Indiana begins at 7 o'clock here at 93 WIBC right after our show. Ryan, great job. Thank you so much, and we'll look forward to hearing from you tonight.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Stay well.
Nigel, looking out the window here.
Ew, it's getting a little dark.
Getting pretty dark. And again, we've got a tornado warning in effect for Tipton until 6:30. Severe thunderstorm warning, Grant County, Marion area until 6:30 p.m.
I'm looking at the wishtv.com interactive radar. Boy, there's something really nasty. There's some really nasty stuff going through Brazil and Greencastle.
There's a
right
picture
now.
of Joy Behar. God help those poor people.
But that system looks like it's on its way here as well.
All right, and again, we've got Kurt Darling working on the weather. We've got the entire WIBC newsroom back here. They're getting ready to go live at 7 o'clock. Full election coverage, results as they come in. You don't need to go anywhere else. As a matter of fact, here's what we're going to do. Nigel and I like to do this every election day, whether it's a primary, whether it's a general. We're going to open it up to you.
Oh, no, we're going to go open phones again?
It's not caller roulette. Tell us about your election day experience.
Yes.
Did you see any shenanigans? Did anybody try to give you crap? Was everything smooth sailing? Did anybody have a line? It doesn't sound like anybody had a line today. Voter turnout was awful. Or if you're seeing some amazing weather, be our reporters right now. So election stuff, weather stuff, we're going to open it up to you. 239-9393. As always, keep it clean, keep it brief, but tell us your election day experience. And if you're seeing the skies open up, if God is angry at your city with the weather right now, let us know. 239-9393. All right, Matt Bear, skies are gray. Parts of the area are just getting crushed with rain right now. Winds are picking up. How are the roads?
Right now, we're pretty tame, except for downtown. Crash southbound 6570 crash before Washington Street involves a semi. Multiple vehicles, 2 right lanes blocked. If you're coming southbound 65, that's backed up from 29th to the crash site. 39 minutes is your wait list, and westbound 70 stopped at Emerson Avenue into the north split. That is a 21-minute wait to get to the north split. Now, this crash is unfortunately on the main part of southbound 65, the through portion of traffic going to Greenwood or Louisville. The collector ramp right now open and moving up to speed. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention, Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Just a few minutes left on this tornado warning for Tipton. That expires at 6:30. We've also got a severe thunderstorm warning for Grant County until 6:30. What are you seeing on the radar?
Let's see. Wish TV interactive radar. Let's refresh that. Zoom in. There's some stuff right over Indy, and there's a nasty-looking cell over Brazil and Greencastle that could be headed our way as well. Some stuff just past Kokomo, up north, and Marion County looks like it's going to get some stuff.
We've got a tornado watch in effect for Marion County and the WIBC listening area until 9 p.m. tonight. Right now, we've got rain 74, the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You can't fight the friction.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Before we get to the calls, can I just get to can I mention my favorite part of the Stormy Daniels testimony today during the Donald Trump hush money trial?
She was on the stand today.
She's on the stand today. I think she's on the stand tomorrow, too. And this is just at the very end of her questioning today. The prosecutor asked Daniels if Trump was, quote, wearing a condom, to which Daniels replied, no. And she added that she didn't mention her concern over the condom. Here's the last question they asked her. Getting to the point and ending the testimony about their encounter, the prosecution asked, was it brief? Stormy responded, yes.
So what we learned today was that the president raw dogged a porn star, and it was brief.
If I were him, I would have come out and said, it was in no way, shape, or form brief. Many different positions.
Multiple hours. Nobody makes love like I do.
This case is a joke. And by the way, the real breaking news is that the Trump classified documents trial in Florida has been postponed indefinitely. Deranged prosecutor Jack Smith, head spinning.
So there's a lot of Trump stuff going on right now, and now you are up to date. All right, we're asking you about your Election Day experience. We're asking you about the weather that may be coming down, where you're at. You guys are the eyes. You guys are the ears. Let's go to Becky. Becky, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show. What's on your mind? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, guys. Love your show. Just wanted to let you know my election experience was great. I went there about 8 o'clock this morning in my precinct and got in. There was a few people in line, voted, got back out. There was a few people outside that, say, hey, vote for me kind of thing. But
nobody hassled you like the experience that I had last November, where I had some fat dude that looked like he was Sloth from the Goonies giving me crap.
Nice. I'm sure you gave him crap back, right?
Oh, yeah. There were a few F words involved, and it wasn't fire truck. Thank you, Becky. Terry is up next. Terry, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, guys. Hey, our voting experience was very nice and smooth today. I do want to comment about the political ads on TV. I get so sick of all these politicians throwing so much mud at each other. But come election day, you don't know which crook to vote for.
That's right. And that's really what these elections have come to. Like we were talking in the back, like Nige, myself, and JMV all kind of have like a little pre-show powwow before we go on the air with our respective stations. When was the last time you went to vote for somebody and you said, it's because I believe in this person, I like this person? Most times you go because you want to vote against the lesser of the two evils, right?
That's what we've come to for sure.
Thank you, Terry. Kelly, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hey, you wanted shenanigans. I had two people tell me that Nikki Haley was on the ballot.
She was.
She was.
I laughed out loud when I saw that. She dropped out in March, but because it was too late, I mean, her name's still on the ballot. You go to Pittsburgh Pennsylvania. I mean, 160,000 people voted for Nikki Haley, even though
like a protest
she was
vote.
on a protest vote. Even though she had dropped out of the race, she still technically had to be on the ballot.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you, Kelly.
I had something happen to my. A friend of mine that was real weird. She texted us and said that, you know how you did, like when you go to sign you show them your ID and they ask and you have to hit if you're a Republican or Democrat, if you're voting,
Which ballot do you want?
And she hit Republican and the lady looked at her and kind of swung the iPad looking thing back and said, good choice. And then another lady like kind of snickered.
So what does that mean? Were they laughing at her?
I don't know. I don't know. She didn't know if that was like they were being serious or they were being disrespectful. But it's like either way, just shut up.
Right. If you work at the poll, it's not your job to snicker at people. It's not your job to criticize people. And like that big fat sloth that came at me last time, it's certainly not your job to debate people. My God, that guy was a goober. Stains all over his shirt. Teeth were all crooked. His teeth were like the Spice Girls. They were all different colors. They're all going their own thing, having a good time. Let's go to Vanessa. Vanessa, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hi, guys. Love your show. I'm in Greenfield, so I went to the library today around 2. It was beautiful outside, no rain or anything, and I stood in line for probably half an hour. So we had a lot of people. Yeah.
Now, you're the first person I've heard, Vanessa, that say they've actually had a line somewhere today.
Yes, they did. And they had 4 people checking people in with their IDs, and they had 2 people helping get in line to put and I had to wait in line to put the ballot in, But it went smooth. They ran everybody through pretty quick, so it went well. And the only person on the ballot that I wanted to vote for was President Trump. So,
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Thank you, Vanessa. What's wild there, Nige, is you heard a first-hand account of someone that said they were looking at IDs and it went smooth and quick. Because there are some politicians in this country that think that's a hassle and that's racist to have an ID when you go to vote. Let's go to Rachel. Rachel, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hi, guys. My mom loves your show. She listens to it every single day. So, Mom, if you hear me, I love you and I miss you. She's out of town for work. But I actually just turned 18, so today was my first time voting.
Awesome. We got a first-timer here.
There you go, Rachel.
There you go.
What'd you think?
It was fun. I waited in line for like 5 minutes, and then they were out of stickers, so that made me a little sad.
Oh, no. First-timer, and you didn't even get the sticker.
I even got a sticker.
I know. I was so sad. But, yeah, so.
Well, Rachel, do us a favor. Go back in November. Like, this is just a little entree compared to what you're going to see in November. Get there early, camp out. It's going to be a big one, and do it again, please.
I will. I got to get my sticker.
Absolutely. Thank you. Laura is up next. Laura, welcome to the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hi. Oh, my gosh. I'm so excited to talk to you guys.
Right on.
I just want to tell you that we did have a weird thing happen in Owen County with the polls. And normally when I go to vote, everything is real smooth, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they changed the machine this year. And what they do is after you can't go backwards like you go previous pages before.
Yep.
Right.
You couldn't do that this time. And they didn't seem to really know how it works. The only thing they told me was there will be a printout on the right side when you're done.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me, I'm also unloading some groceries. But anyway, so I decided, and they just said, you shouldn't have a problem. I said, okay. So then I put in my first vote. Then there were so many people for governor, I just really couldn't decide. So I just clicked on. I said, no, I want to change my mind. So then I couldn't go back. I was hitting another candidate and wouldn't do it. So then I hit, I want to cancel. And then it said something about, if you cancel, you'll have to cancel the whole thing. And I just got so nervous. So I finally called someone over, and they can look at two people.
Did they help you out? I mean, were you able to get your vote in?
Finally. But
okay, good.
It was just so hard, it was so
Sounds like a new system.
Right. Sounds like they need some more training at that place. Thank you, Laura. Aaron, we'll give you the last word here. Aaron, how was your experience today?
Hey, guys, thanks. I was in Zeville, and there was actually a line at Town Hall. Went smooth.
I was, too. What time were you there?
1:30.
Oh, okay. I was there about 9. And there's only there's probably only 10 people in front of me, if that.
Yeah, I don't know. People don't work anymore, so everybody came out at 1:30. But no, they checked IDs. It was easy peasy, and it was great. And I want to give a shout out to Judge Shine.
There you go.
Lori Shine, sure, Judge.
There you go.
It's been 4 years.
All right, Aaron, thank you so much. All right, we're going to reset here. We're going to get the latest watches and warnings, all things weather-related, and get you primed and ready. We are 30 minutes away from election coverage with our WIBC News team. First results coming in. That's coming up. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Family Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data, and you get to choose who joins your family plan starting as low as $25 a line. Does it have to be family? It can be family or people you like.
Get more lines and more savings. Switch to Straight Talk for family plan starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at Walmart and straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Whether this is her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct is everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Springtime Blues? B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical is your go-to team. Visit bplusw.com/radio. Your comfort is their priority. B&W is your independent American Standard air dealer. Spring surprises? Fear not. B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical has you covered. Visit bplusw.com/radio today. B&W is your trusted independent American Standard air dealer.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, poly, cast aluminum, teak, and more.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not done with the storms yet. 74 degrees, rainy downtown. Still a few storms west of Indianapolis working their way east on your radar. Low of 59 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 6:32. There's a reason why Marion County's under a tornado watch until 9.
You're not in those areas, let's say you're west of there. That doesn't mean you're out of the risk. It just means that you have a little bit less of a risk than the further east areas.
Aaron Updike with the National Weather Service. If you're in an area that's got severe weather going on right now, make sure you have a safe place to go. There was an officer-involved shooting in Anderson today. Sam Fritz reports.
Anderson police responded to an officer-involved shooting on Broadway Street Tuesday, just outside of a Get-Go gas station. They say that a Pendleton police officer initiated a traffic stop on a vehicle that was part of a criminal investigation. There was a female driver and a male passenger in the car. The male would shoot at the officer. The cop fired back, and both were struck during the altercation. The officer is in stable condition. They were treated at an Anderson hospital. The suspect has been transported to an Indianapolis hospital and is currently in serious condition. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
More of the same from the former president today.
I'm here. Instead of being in Georgia, instead of being in New Hampshire, instead of being in Wisconsin, and all the different states that we wanted to be in, we're not able to be there because we're stuck in this trial, which everyone knows is a hoax.
Donald Trump speaking after another day in court in his New York hush money trial. He believes the case is politically motivated to keep him from campaigning. GOP candidates for Indiana governor have already set a record for the amount of money spent by those candidates. One of the 6 is Republican Senator Mike Braun.
In a full field like this, with 4 well-financed campaigns, it's going to probably be a record for any primary, and I think a dubious one at best.
He says he has some ideas about who his lieutenant governor could be, but he's waiting to see what happens tonight. Already has an early lead in the polls. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 6:33.
This hour on 93 WIBC, powered by B&W Plumbing, HVAC, and Electrical, your American Standard air dealer.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, over 3 million people called Morgan & Morgan in their time of need. And with over 1 million of those calls coming from previous clients, friends, and family.
My name is Jeannie. I was sitting in traffic and I was hit twice from behind by 2 different cars. My first thought was Morgan & Morgan. I was very surprised at how easy it was. I did not have to go into the office. I did everything by text. They needed documents. I could sign them. I could upload them. I could send them right back with ease. Call Morgan & Morgan. It's easier than you think.
Thank you for trusting us. We've become the largest injury firm in the world because we've won a lot. The word is out. Size matters. Reputation matters. We're America's largest injury law firm for a reason. With over 900 dedicated attorneys and climbing, we're ready wherever you are, whatever you need. The choice is easy. We're just a phone call away. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
With traffic at 6:35, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison semi crashed downtown, and we are still cleaning it up at southbound 6570 before Washington Street. 2 right lanes are blocked. 65 is stopped back to 29th Street. 70 stopped back to Emerson Avenue. We are getting rain in the metro. Please turn on your headlights, please. Pretty please. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, polycast, aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
In the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Severe storms are possible this evening into the early portions of tonight. A tornado watch is out until 9 o'clock, which includes most of central Indiana. All storms will exit the state by midnight. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
Morgan and Johnson counties now under a severe thunderstorm warning. That goes until 7:16. I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the night. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
All right, you just heard Harrison Silcox. Morgan and Johnson County. Severe thunderstorm warning until 7:16 p.m. That is a severe thunderstorm warning, Morgan and Johnson County. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Jason Hammer. Big Nige is here, and joining us in studio, Jim Merritt joins us.
Good afternoon.
I think you're in the wrong place. I'm not Rob Kendall. You're supposed to be on with Rob. Isn't that how it works?
Should I say I've kind of stepped up in the world?
Absolutely. You're going to be part of the election coverage tonight here at 93 WIBC. Now, I've got some early numbers coming in here. I'm going to spitball. Now, keep in mind, it's very early, but you tell me your thoughts as we go through some of these numbers, okay?
Okay.
So, according to our news gathering partners at wishtv.com, for the governor's race, 5% reporting, Mike Braun 38%, Suzanne Crouch 21%, Chambers 20, Doden 13, Rittenauer 4, Curtis Hill 3.
You know, that's not a real surprise. The early, obviously, with 5%, and the polling for Senator Braun has been consistent. And in that 30 to 40% range, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the rest of the 95%. But the 20% for Brad Chambers is a spur for him, and he's never had 20% in this campaign polling wise, and so that may portend good for him. So, you know, it's going to be a relatively long night because. It's tough to get the returns in from around the state.
Right. And there's a couple of counties that are on different time zones.
That's what I was getting to, is that will kind of hamper what's going on.
So that's the governor's race right now. Mike Braun, with just 5% reporting, has a 17% lead. I got a feeling, now tell me if I'm crazy.
You're crazy.
Donald Trump's going to win this primary in Indiana.
I think going away. It's just going to be kind of to see if Nikki Haley actually gets a 25% chunk of the ballot.
That's what we're looking at right now. 6% reporting, Donald Trump 75%, Nikki Haley 25%, and of course that 25% a protest vote, as she's not even running anymore.
Right, and she gave up her campaign some time ago. It's you don't see that very often where there's a protest vote and somebody stays on the ballot. Usually there's the 0 or a 5% for that individual. But the political pundits will go over that, and if it stays at 75-25, big victory for Donald Trump. But people will talk about the 25% for Nikki Haley.
A lot of attention on U.S. House District 3, the Republican race, Andy Zay against Marlon Stutzman, Tim Smith, Wendy Davis, all in the mix here. 9% reporting, Andy Zay at 28%, Marlon Stutzman at 20%, followed by Smith with 17%, Davis 16%, and that seems to be the breakdown right now.
You know, it's interesting. We had a lot of retirements, and there's more that we'll be talking about this tonight on the campaign election coverage. And Andy Zay, Senator Zay, State Senator Zay, has run a very good campaign for Congress. He's got a lot of competition. Tim Smith ran for mayor of Fort Wayne in 2019 when I ran for mayor of Indianapolis. So he's got some campaign experience. And we all know Marlin Stutzman has been a sitting member of Congress, and he ran for the U.S. Senate as well.
We're chatting with Jim Merritt. He's part of the election coverage tonight beginning at 7 here on 93 WIBC. 12% reporting in U.S. House District 5. This is breaking down to be Victoria Spartz against Chuck Goodrich. Again, 12% reporting, Spartz at 39%, Goodrich at 34%.
That's a very close election, and it'd be really interesting to see where they got that portion of the race. And we may be in for a barn burner in regards to that race. That has gotten ugly, that has gotten dirty. And it's not what I would like in a campaign, but it certainly has been entertaining for some.
Okay, we've got some numbers here for the Shreve Speedy race and some others. But first, we're going to take a little time out here. John Herrick is standing by in the WIBC Weather Center. We've got some more updates. John?
This is a severe weather alert from the Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning Storm Desk.
Yeah, Hammer, a few things going on here. Tornado warning remains in effect until 6:45 for southeastern Grant County, with the severe thunderstorm capable of producing it as well, moving east at 45 miles an hour. Along with the tornado, quarter-size hail, radar-indicated rotation, flying debris, dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed or damaged. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles are likely, as well as tree damage. This dangerous storm will be near Gas City, Upland, and Matthews. That includes I-69 between mile markers 253 and 259. Also, severe thunderstorm warning for southeastern Morgan County in central Indiana, southern Johnson County in central Indiana until 7:15. That thunderstorm was located 8 miles east of Martinsville or 21 miles northeast of Bloomington, moving east at 35 miles an hour. Ping pong ball size hail, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. People and animals outdoors will be injured. Expect hail and damage to roofs, siding, windows, and vehicles. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Franklin, Edinburgh, Princess Lake, Trafalgar, and Morgantown. That includes I-65 between mile markers 84 and 93. And again, that severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7:15 for southeastern Morgan County in central Indiana and southern Johnson County in central Indiana.
You're just minutes away from another severe weather update. Brought to you by Chapman Heating and Air Conditioning.
To know the facts before voting. Jefferson Shreve caves to the radical left on our values and is a never-Trump moderate. Jamison Carrier, well, he filed for bankruptcy, owing thousands in tax liens, claims his primary residence is in Florida, voted there this last election. I'm Mike Speedy, and I approve this message. By the grace of God, I beat cancer, and with your help, we can beat these lying politicians and save America.
Mike Speedy is the only candidate who is both endorsed by Indiana Right to Life and is A+ rated by the NRA. Mike Speedy endorses President Trump and will join him to fix our border once and for all. Mike Speedy will fight the woke leftists to guarantee life and liberty. Speedy has a track record of fighting and winning. Vote Republican Mike Speedy in Indiana's 6th Congressional on or before May 7th. Paid for by Mike Speedy for Congress.
I'm Mike Speedy. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Sinus pressure, congestion, snoring, being unable to sleep, being unable to breathe. Yep, it's another sinus infection. You've Googled, watched videos, tried over-the-counter sprays, medications, and home remedies, but nothing ever works. There must be some kind of treatment that can help, right? Indianapolis Sinus Center understands how draining it can be when you try treatment after treatment without any relief. That's why they've been serving and treating the community for over 50 years. Indianapolis Sinus Center has performed thousands of procedures and helped thousands of patients find lasting relief they didn't know was possible. Patients like you. If If you've had enough of sinus pain, pressure, and congestion, schedule a visit with Indianapolis Sinus Center today. Call 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward breathing easy. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650. Or visit IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
She isn't working for us, so who is Victoria Spartz working for in Congress? Victoria Spartz said she'd fight the radical left, but spoke in defense of the squad's Ilhan Omar and refused to officially condemn Rashida Tlaib after her hateful, anti-Semitic statements. While there's an invasion on our southern border, Spartz votes to send $40 billion of our tax dollars to Ukraine. Victoria Spartz also says she stands with President Trump. Truth is, Spartz stated it's irrelevant who the president is and helps the Biden administration pass their agenda. Chuck Goodrich is an America First conservative. Chuck built a business that hires and builds American. And Chuck voted to end sanctuary cities. Chuck puts our national defense first by banning any Chinese presence near our military and National Guard bases. Chuck Goodrich fights for our values, voting to protect female sports and keep biological males from competing against young women in Indiana. Vote Chuck Goodrich for Congress. Paid for by Go With Chuck Goodrich.
I'm Chuck Goodrich, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.
Mecum Auctions, the world's largest collector car auction company, returns to Indy with Dana Mecum's 37th Original Spring Classic, May 10th through the 18th at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. 3,000 muscle cars, Corvettes, exotics, and more. Broadcast on Motor Trend TV and streaming live on Max. From avid collectors to those new to the Mecum experience, we welcome everyone. Register to bid now at Mecum.com.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
Hey, it's Rob. Right now, schedule your free in-home estimate and get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. A better bath awaits.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
You give and you give. It's time to get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included with the activation of a Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk. Find us at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com. Requires in-store activation. Device offer ends 6/9/24. Taxes and fees apply.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
At Cardon Senior Living Communities, you'll find our teams share a commitment to enhancing the lifestyle and well-being of the people we serve every day at every stage of life.
Removing tripping hazards such as rugs and floor clutter is one way to prevent or minimize falls around the home. Another is to position grab bars in the restroom and other common areas where your loved one may need some extra support. Contact your local area agency on aging to inquire about low-cost or free installation services. More tips like this are available anytime at caregivercrossingradio.org. With new weekly content created by Joy's House and distributed in partnership with Network Indiana, we're an on-air and online support group for Hoosier family caregivers. Hear conversations with experts, access a library of online education, and more at caregivercrossingradio.org.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, see our great selection of grills. We have Weber, Traeger, the Big Green Egg, and all the accessories.
All right, we got some early numbers coming in. We'll have more breakdown with Jim Merritt in just a moment. Right now, Matt Baer has a look at the roads.
Crash cleanup continues on a semi-crash downtown. It's southbound 6570 shy of Washington Street. Two right lanes are blocked. Traffic on 70 backed up to Emerson Avenue. That has a delay time of about 17 minutes. If you're on southbound 65, looking at 37 minutes down to the crash site at Washington Street. Traffic sponsored by Sullivan Hardware and Garden. This week at Sullivan Hardware and Garden, get 30% off all patio furniture, wicker, Berlin Gardens, polycast, aluminum, teak, and more. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Again, keep it locked here to 93 WIBC for all the latest watches and warnings. It's 73 right now in Indianapolis at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Jim Merritt is here. He is part of our election coverage tonight. The newsroom takes over at 7. Want to run a few early results by you just to pick your brain a little bit. Just 4% reporting in U.S. House District 6. This is Jefferson Shreve against Mike Speedy, Jamison Carrier. Shreve, 38% of the vote, followed by Speedy at 19, Carrier at 17.
Well, that's a district that is urban and it's rural. And so it all depends on where that 4% is. Obviously, we have 96% left to see the returns, but strong campaign from all three candidates. Jefferson Shreve had a very humorous commercial about Representative Speedy, State Representative Speedy. Jamison Carrier came through with a campaign, to me, when he would focus on addiction and the issues of mental health, meant something to me. And so that was a really interesting campaign to watch. I think it comes down to who wins Perry Township, who wins the southern part of Marion County and Johnson County. That's where the population is. We're just going to have to see what happens.
And a lot of places have 0% reporting at this point. So it's going to be a long night as the numbers start to trickle in. Mm-hmm. What are some of the local races that have got your attention tonight?
Well, there's a retirement out in the Brownsburg area, in the west side of Indianapolis, in the state Senate. And Ann Engelhardt, who is a well-known person in those parts, who was on the school board and the chairman of Hendricks County Republican Party, is running against Brett Clark, who is a former sheriff for the state Senate seat that John Crane occupies right now. He's retiring. I think there's a wide variety of races that I'm not sure if there's going to be surprises, but there could be surprises because, as Abdul has reported throughout the day, it's just a very low turnout.
Right.
He reported 12% turnout in Marion County, which is deceitful. And something
couple minutes left here. Again, election coverage all through the evening here at WIBC. Jim Merritt with us here around Central Indy. I'm curious about a couple races. You've got Senator Mike Young against Philip Clay. And then also in the donut areas, you've got Rod Bray, the Senate pro tem. He's got a challenger in Jay Hart. Mm-hmm. That's going to be interesting because if that race is close, to me, that says that's kind of a referendum against the establishment here in Indiana.
Well, those are two very interesting races, primarily because Senator Young has really prided himself on running for re-election and letting his record speak for himself and being really under the radar. You've never seen Mike Young raise a lot of money, and he's never really had much opposition or anybody who is opposing him that is supported by big groups of associations. And so with Rod Bray, Senator Rod Bray, I look forward to him winning. But when you drive through Martinsville, you see a lot of signs that don't have Rod Bray for state senator on them. So yard signs don't vote, but
they couldn't afford yard signs because Rod Bray taxed the bejesus out of them, Jim.
The bottom line is that would be really interesting. I can remember back in 2006 standing next to Bob Garton, who was a state senator pro tem at that time, and he lost the primary ballot. And then they turned to me and asked me what was going to go then. So this can happen.
All right, looking forward to the coverage tonight. Jim Merritt will be here, the WIBC news team. John Herrick, the news director. Abdul will be part of our coverage tonight, and the numbers are starting to trickle in. So if you voted earlier, if you were one of the few that voted earlier based on what we're hearing, buckle up. Turn up 93 WIBC. It's going to be a fun night. Jim, thank you. This has been the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I